Yo, 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 this is DPS Podcast. That's Damage Per Second Podcast, episode 275. We just 25 episodes away from the big 300. And we are back on a fine Thursday night feeling all right. I am one of your hosts, SloMoBackSlap, with our other host here, Gaming Forte. What's up, Forte? How's it going, bro?
It's good. How's it going? It's been good. I got a lot of sleep the last couple of days, which is definitely
Oh,
a
that's definitely what you needed.
oh brother, I needed that. I was like, oh my god, all the work I've been doing. Like I actually
Mm.
officially got 2 days off in a row, and it was great. Didn't have to get up to go to no inventory on Wednesday. I do next week, but this week I didn't. But it was like, oh man, I slept like a kid. Um, I picked up I picked up Tales of Arise on Switch 2, and I've been playing that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Cause
That was a dope. That's a dope one.
yeah, well, I was thinking about you and Luca because I know you and Luca put a lot of time into it. So I was like, I never got a chance to play it on either because I think it was never on Game Pass. But I
Yeah, I
remember
don't
you
think
guys
so.
playing it, and I was like, you know what? I meant to go back and play it, and the fact that it was like, okay, well, Switch 2, and it actually looks and runs really well on the Switch 2. Like I was not surprised, but because it's an older game, but definitely enjoying that. And then I picked up Bond or 007. I haven't got a chance to play it yet. But outside of that, everything else has been pretty good, man. What about you?
I mean, I can't complain. It's been a long week, but I've been I've been dealing with work and dealing with other personal stuff, and just glad the week is almost over. I have been playing a little bit more Call of Duty as usual. Trying to finish all the weekly challenges before season 4 starts. I'm This is one challenge that's kind of eluding me though, and it's basically you gotta kill 5 people in one match with grenades, and you already know how bad I am at throwing grenades. Like I can headshot a dude. I can quick flick to the left, take a dude down. I can pull a reversal on the dude in the first person shooter.
Reversal.
Hitting people with grenades, I don't understand what the problem is. Like it's funny because like in Halo, I can
That was the
ricochet
art.
grenades off walls, right?
In Halo, it
But
was an
like,
art.
yeah, exactly. Like it was, and maybe that's what my problem. Because like a lot of my growing up, my first person shooter experience came from Halo. So
Hmm.
like whenever I'm throwing a grenade, I'm trying to ricochet it off of 2 walls and hit a dude around the corner, kind of stuff. I don't know what it is, but in Call of Duty, I just can't hit people with grenades for nothing. Impact grenade, regular frag, um, the grenade, I forgot what it's called, where it splinters into multiple little smaller explosions. Like none of that stuff works for me. And so
Hmm.
I'm trying to get that because there's like a particular mod that you can get for a gun
Hmm.
that makes it replenish ammo on its own. I just want to use it because it just sounds dope. So I
Right.
want it like, and it's just the last challenge you gotta do for that weekly. It's like a weekly from like 2 weeks ago, and
Oh,
I
okay.
can't do it for whatever reason. It's
They trying to tell
um
you got to work harder.
I don't know how much harder I can work, man. And then and just like with my skill based matchmaking, like dudes is just not making it easy whatsoever. So it is what it is. But what I got on the Jumbotron right now is this game called Luna Abyss. It's you can
Okay.
actually find it in Game Pass right now if you
Okay.
have Game Pass. Or it's also on Steam as well. I think it's pretty cheap. I feel like it's like under $30 or somewhere like $20, something like that. But it's a decent game. It's on a little on the easy side, and I had to turn up the brightness because it was just like way too dark. But it's an interesting game. Like it's got kind of, I wouldn't call it bullet hell. Actually, no, I think bullet hell is accurate because of how some of the enemies attack you. You really need to like dodge their like energy attacks, um, and still shoot the enemies, and like they give you kind of like, I would say kind of like auto aim, even though you have to engage it. And typically when you see those two elements, you're talking about like bullet hell kind of stuff. I wouldn't quite say it's definitely not a roguelike because there's been bullet hell roguelites a lot lately, like Returnal and Sorrows, but it's pretty decent. When I first started playing it, I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna finish this first mission and then uninstall. But then as and it was a long first mission, like it took me probably about 40 minutes, I think to finish it, but like the story got more and more interesting, even though it's a bit cryptic. But it's not bad. It's not bad. I'm gonna keep it installed. Last week I talked about how I'm been kind of in a gaming rut, and I think it's just because like a lot of the stuff I've been playing is a lot of the same games, and I guess I kind of needed something a little different. So this one's pretty interesting. If you like what you're seeing, maybe check it out. Uh, I also finally beat that boss that's been frustrating me in Hades 2. So I finally beat that boss. Uh, Really happy about that. Starting to progress the story a little bit. I think it's basically no different than the other aspects of Hades, where you gotta clear up this particular run 10 times in order to truly like beat it. So I got 9 more clears to go through with that particular boss and those runs. But I've been playing Hades 2 on my Steam Deck, which is connected to one of my LG TVs, and I've been using the Steam controller on that, so that I got like no issues with it like like not necessarily synchronizing, but like compatibility issues, stuff like that. So it's been pretty good. It's been pretty good so far. I'm having making some progress finally. I want to beat the game so I can finally say I beat both that and Hades one. But Arcade says, "Where's Ramon?" I don't know where Ramon is. Arcade, he might be out here filming something. He might be filming a
He,
Netflix.
he for the streets today. He for the streets.
Actually, no. It looks like he got the times mixed up.
Oh, he just texted you or messaged you.
Yeah, yeah. He thought it was 9:30. I don't know
Oh, well,
why he
he'll be
thought
here
it
in
was
a minute.
9:30. Yeah, so he'll be here soon, Arcade. Like he's the most popular one now.
He
Everybody
is. You know, the fact that
cares.
everybody was like, "Where's Ramon?" Where Remote?
But
Remote. Listen, I was telling people I was on Brap's show yesterday, and it was like you got to make sure. He said, "Yo, Brap," he said, "Yo, Forte, make sure you got a show tomorrow. Make sure you talk about it." And I was like, "Yeah, shout out to everybody that came through. You appreciate you guys, everybody that comes to our show tomorrow. We had Logic on, talked about Logic being on there. Trying to talk all that junk about him being a better gamer. I said that's some BS. I told him you must didn't listen to it because I had a little bit of slander for you in there too. I said, Slumbo think he's better than he actually is, but to each his own. And then I said, Ramon,
I never like better than I actually am. Like
I
what
was
I
just,
don't know what you're talking about.
I was just talking. Well, Slumbo, you do have
See, you were just being honest. I was just talking smack, and
I
then
was just
you
no,
just
I
couldn't
was just
you
talking
you couldn't
smack.
help yourself. Now you going now you jumping in there with some more nonsense. Go ahead, go
Oh
ahead.
no. I was talking big nonsense. You right. It was very, very bad. So no, but it was fun though on there yesterday. We were talking about sales and stuff, and I talked about how Ramon. I said, man, Ramon pretty much got keys to the refrigerator now. That man, he's like the third wheel. We riding a tricycle out here. He's like the stability. He levels out Slumbo's craziness. And speaking of which, the man, the myth, the legend, the man of many not slaps, the man that makes Hallmark movies and TV shows watchable, the man Ramon Terrell. How are you doing, sir?
I am doing fantastic. Sorry I'm late. For some reason, I was thinking that it was 9:30 EST, but doing well, thank you. Hope you guys are doing well. Hello to the chat.
Literally,
Yeah,
Uh,
somebody asked me, say, "Where's Ramon at?" And we was like, "Oh yeah, Ramon made it."
there was like, yeah, I don't care about nothing slow mo and Forte is saying.
Where's
Where's
Ramon?
Ramon? Where's
Where's Ramon?
Ramon? I don't understand. Like, why? I mean, I came here for Ramon. If he's not here, then I'm leaving.
I'm leaving.
And I was like, all right, dang, all right, well,
Dang,
let's get
no,
Ramon in
no.
here
What it
before.
is they know how lonely I am, and so they were worried that I might be, sitting off in a corner somewhere waiting, waiting for the show. Um,
Facts. That's
All
big
right, but
facts.
so now that you're here, what you been playing over the past week, sir?
I have been bouncing between Crimson Desert and Forza Horizon 6. Um, I have a partially hot take, partially not hot take on Forza Horizon 6. Uh, it's fantastic. It
Mm-hmm.
brings everything you expect from Forza Horizon 6. The reason why I disagree with the whole Game of the Year talk is not because it's a racer, is because there are a couple things that it takes significant steps back in. And I mean, they're not a huge deal. I mean, I'm dealing with it, but quite frankly, even though it's, every part of the series, everybody's cheerful and, friendly and having fun and everything, which is something I love, the quote unquote acting in this one is pretty bad.
Oh, like the voice acting and animations and
Yeah,
whatnot.
man.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I found
This
I found a
team is not
trailer.
the team that's working on Fable, clearly. Clearly.
Clearly not. Well, for that matter, this isn't the same team that worked on Forza Horizon 5 because they had personality, they were fun. Like, they I had a lot of fun with them, quote unquote. But
Hmm.
this crew, like I found this car that was one of your like handlers, if you will. I found like a car that was like her father's, I think, or something like that. And so she's like, this looks like, whatever car is. And she's like, did he is this oh, we've got to, and I'm like, oh my God. Like it was
Okay,
so bad.
well, one moment, Ramon. Is it possible? And then let me just play devil's advocate for a moment. Is it possible that you being a superb actor in your own
Oh my
right,
God.
that you are a tad bit critical of the acting in this because it's just not on your level? Is that possible?
It's possible you could have acted those parts better
Oh
as
wow.
well as
Okay. Well,
Corbin.
I guess I understand now. All right. Well,
Like,
hey, look, it is what it is.
well,
I
somebody's
mean,
daughter
you're
got work,
right.
and
It's
that's what's
not
important.
somebody's daughter. That's funny. Yeah. I mean, look, it's a racer, right? So like a lot of that stuff, and,
Yeah.
and I think I said this some years ago, and we were talking about what we wanted from the next Forza, and I was like, I wouldn't mind a little Fast and Furious in there, like old school Fast and Furious, before they lost their mind and started going to
Go
space
jump the shark, and yeah.
and racing submarines in the
Oh
Arctic
my
and stuff,
goodness.
like jumping
Brother,
over entire
like
like
stop
bridges and some crap. Like I'm
Crazy
talking about
jumping
like
stuff.
from
old
one skyscraper
school,
to another.
yeah, like all
My
that
goodness.
nonsense that's just unreal. And forget all that. I'm
Dog, when they
talking
went
about
to space, I
old
was done.
school. I was d I
I
was
was
kinda
done.
done after
No,
Fast
no,
5. Fast 5
no.
is the last good
Look,
one in my opinion.
listen.
But
Once they
hold on,
That's
went
hold on,
last
up
hold
in
on.
one I
space,
watched.
it was
Let me
it.
land the plane. Let me land the plane. I'm talking about old school Fast and Furious where, like, they're racing for pink slips. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not pink slips, but like car titles. They racing for respect and bragging rights. Like where they getting into the minutia of like the engine and like you almost beat you. You never had your car talking trash kind of stuff. Like give me that in Forza Horizon. I don't
I'm
really
with you.
care about like, hey, the festival's back again. It's just like, all right, bro. Like, cause
Well,
I haven't played since last week. No, but I'm gonna get back into it, but
For me,
I feel like I've
I
done
feel
this
like
all before, because I
Mhm.
I
have.
feel like if they can bring for me, I feel like they can bring, the festival is cool, but if they I feel like they need to take a to go back to part 1 and take a look at part 1, because they that was the beginnings of what it could have evolved to in terms of having, character and, quote unquote story and whatnot.
Hmm.
And then the crazy part is they hinted at it with 5, with one particular mission where your main rival in 1 comes back to the festival for like a visit. And as you're kind of like racing him, it's not a real race with any stakes. He's just taking you on kind of like a tour through the Horizon series leading up to 5. And he's, on a nostalgia trip on comms telling you what it was like when he was racing in Australia and when he was doing, doing this sports. And it was really cool, because it was a character from the very first one. And back when you were, when it was Forza Horizon 1, you had that rivalry going, and it was really cool, and they could have built off of that. But
I don't think I ever
for
played one.
whatever reason, it
I think the
happened.
first one I played was 2. Definitely.
Okay, 1
Yeah,
was
yeah, it was
good.
definitely 2. Yeah, 2 was the first one I played, and I think my favorite might be 4.
Mm.
And I think it's just
4
because
was good.
4 just because we had that Scumcast car.
Yeah, I
And
never got
so
to get that. I couldn't find it. Like, I remember you even gave me the make of it before they turned the servers off, and I still couldn't find it. So I never got a chance to get that car.
oh man. Yeah, that car was dope. Shout out to Don Julio, who
Yeah, it was
created that
dope.
car. Very, very good in racing. Absolutely terrible at Halo. Shout out to you,
Oh,
Don.
damn.
I got it every time I bring him up. I gotta give him some smoke because the guy was just the biggest talker in trash and just be trash. Like I don't understand how you talk so much trash, but you not good. Like it's insane. You're just like I'm a 1v1 you, and I'm like, and I beat you like 15-2. Like what was the point?
What are we
It's just
doing
crazy.
here?
Yeah, what are we doing here? Then he
What are
tried to
we
get like
doing?
what's that guy's name? Lazy Orbit, I think. Shout out to Lazy Orbit. He
I
was cool.
remember
He was
Lazy
okay.
Orbit.
The two of them said they was going to beat me together, and then I beat both of them.
Oh,
And it was in Halo Guardians, which isn't even like my best Halo. So it's just like why But hey, amazing. And like look up Don Julio. I think his name is Don Julio on his gamer tag. Look him up, and because he's probably still playing. I haven't talked to him in years, but he's probably still playing Forza. So he's probably still making dope looking uh paint jobs and everything. So you know, look him up. Send him a message. Say you suck at Halo. He'll know where it came from.
that's crazy.
Anywho, man. Anywho, you said you was playing Forza in Crimson Desert, right? Ramon? Did we
Ramon.
Sorry. For some reason the mute button wasn't working. I had to hit it a couple times.
No, you
Yeah.
Yeah,
good.
he was trying to mute you, SloMo, for saying the crazy stuff that you were just saying.
Oh my goodness.
When did I just say that was crazy?
Continue.
Okay. Go ahead. Go
Oh.
ahead.
Oh.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. um.
Forza hating over
No.
there, that's all.
Yeah. Crimson Desert. So I've been I've been kind of like, like I say, bouncing back and forth. So I did some side missions on Crimson Desert, and gritting my teeth for the next time I have to do a Yarn mission. Fortunately, I haven't yet, but I can't stand him, just like everybody else can't stand him.
Hmm.
But yeah, did some cool
That
side
guy's
missions.
terrible. That guy's
Oh
terrible.
man, he's
He's
awful.
like the worst NPC in the game. Like one of the worst. Like
Yeah.
just
Oh yeah.
absolutely awful NPC. Anyone who's
I
played
don't.
Crimson Desert knows who we're talking about.
Oh yeah. Like nobody likes him. I don't think I've ever encountered an NPC that I've liked less than him.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
he's pretty awful.
he's awful. But yeah. So I did some missions. I'm gonna probably. I need to take some time to refine my weapons enough to where I can start doing a bunch more main campaign. And then my plan is, once I eventually finish the main campaign, Then every so often, I'll drop in for a few hours, maybe like once a week or something like that, and just kind of,
Hmm.
play in that world off and on
What
since it's so
chapter you
big.
on right now?
I don't even remember. I'm probably somewhere around somewhere between chapter 8 and 10, I think.
Okay.
Somewhere around there, I think.
Yeah, I'm on chapter
Um,
10, and I'm kind of like
okay.
in the same boat you are. Like I need to refine my armor and weapons to kind of like really get through the rest of the main campaign without really struggling. And I
Yeah.
just don't feel like gathering the materials needed because like
Yeah,
essentially
that
what you need to
part.
do is just go around drilling into walls and mountains and stuff, getting more like iron, bloodstone, all kinds of different kinds of metals and stuff to go to the blacksmith and use that to in addition to an abyss artifact to upgrade your weapons. And I just don't I just want to finish it. Like I don't want to do any of that other stuff anymore. It's frustrating.
No, I get that. Is that the only complaint I have worse than that is those freaking those sealed abyss gears or sealed abyss artifacts or whatever, where you have to stand
Yeah,
on
get
your
these
head
dumb
and then
challenges.
duck walk.
Yeah.
You
Oh
got to duck
gosh.
walk across the map, like and then like pick up a couple pigeons, and it's just like all of these different like ridiculous challenges you have to do to open up the abyss thing. I'm like, man, I don't feel like doing all that. So
Yeah,
like
I got one
it's
where it was like a fishing village all the way to the south, and I didn't even realize I had it, but like I was leaving there on my horse, and then it's like seal the abyss challenge. It said run from where I started from to some random like village or whatever in the desert
oh, I
in
know that
like
one. I know that
45
one.
minutes. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. I'm like, I got something else to do. Why I'm gonna take 45 minutes out of my time or less to get this. I'm like, nah, I'm not doing that. I just like it's just always something silly like that. And there's another one where it was like walk on a rope for like
That was easy. That one was easy. I did that one.
yeah, but I couldn't find any rope to walk on until I was like in the region that looks like Asia, and I was doing a
Yeah.
specific challenge or a specific mission where I had to walk on a rope, and I'm just like, this is the only rope in the whole freaking game. It's just like, yeah, I'm about sick of Crimson Desert. Had a good time with it for a while, but it's time to move on for me. My bad,
Yeah,
bro.
I see it as one that I just bounce in and out of. Like once I finish the campaign, like maybe once a week, drop in for like, a few hours, something like that, just to do stuff in the world. But yeah, I'm about 85 hours, close to or somewhere between 85 and 90 hours, which for me is a
Mhm.
lot. And I can see myself, crossing the 100-hour mark before I'm like, okay, I really need to start moving to the finish line. Because
Yeah.
normally open world fatigue sets in after 40 hours for me. Like between 40 and 50 hours, I'm like, all right, it's time to wrap this up. So, that says a lot for, how fun the game is, but
Mhm.
I can tell I need to start at least moving in that direction before, fatigue starts to set in and I'm like, all right, want to play other stuff? I'm probably done. So that's
Yeah.
pretty much been it for me.
Cool, cool. Are we ready for the rapid fire topics?
Sure am.
All
Let's go.
right.
Oh, really? Oh, really?
Well, CD Projekt Red has announced a new expansion for The Witcher 3 called Songs of the Past. This new expansion is going to be revealed, like officially, seen for the first time in August, with a release coming in 2027. It is being co-developed with CDPR and another support studio called Fool's Theory. Um, Ramon, I feel like you were pretty big on Witcher, right?
Oh yeah, that game was fantastic. Like I remember I remember when I played it at first, I wasn't feeling the combat. And I mean the combat, to be fair, is the weakest point of that game or
Oh,
the
by
games in
far.
general. But the thing is once you start leveling Geralt up and you really you get he starts developing his techniques, it really is it becomes a dance, which is the Witcher's combat anyway. Like in canon, is a dance, and once you start learning how his attacks work, the combat becomes a lot more fun. So, um, I played through that. I played through Hearts of Stone and Blood and Wine, and I mean, man, the DLC campaigns were better than the main campaign. And I don't say that to slight the main campaign because that was good, but yeah, fantastic, fantastic game. Like I loved every bit of it. There were no, I can't even. I struggle to think if there was a side mission I didn't like. Nothing felt like rubber banding fetch quests, and I mean, they're basically, if they were well hidden, right? If you write a fetch quest well, it doesn't feel like a fetch quest. So yeah, I can't praise it enough. It's a fantastic game.
Nice. So you're definitely getting this expansion. You see me just jumping around, in this. Just real quick, this footage I got, I only have this footage because like Luca, and shout out to Luca. I love Luca, but Luca will just refuses to allow me to dislike this game. Just refuses. And I'm not saying it's a bad game. I just don't care for it. Like I like it the combat just for me, it just doesn't work for me. And I have attempted to play The Witcher 3. I've had to have attempted to play this game like 3 times. At least 3 times, probably 4 or 5. And the most recent attempt, Luca was like, "So don't you own all the expansions on Steam?" I said, "Yeah." She's like, "Do this. Go just create a new save. Go into which a Blood and Wine. I don't know which one this is." And then she's like, and just use like a build that someone else has already like created. Just put the skill points in there, and then play that because Blood and Wine is so great. And like I probably played a good 15, 20 minutes before I was like, yo, I can't do it. So yeah, sorry about this awful Witcher footage, but it is what it is.
Oh, you
Um
can't take Witcher.
Yeah,
I cannot do Witcher.
that's too bad. It's the combat. It's hard to describe, but like there's a flow to it. There's a rhythm and a flow to it. Like certain
There's a
attacks, he's
song
gonna
and dance.
turn, spin, and slash, and it's like, and then like you can't just I don't want to say wail away because it sounds like button mashing, and I know you don't button mash, but like you'll do like it's like a dance. So you'll do a couple of attacks, and then you do one of the signs that push people away. And then you do a couple more attacks, and then you do a different sign, and you mix the signs in with the melee combat. And once it clicks, it's actually fun. Like the combat, in my opinion. Like once it clicked, because I was like you in the beginning, I'm like, man, this combat is not fun at all. But I was enjoying the story and everything else around it. So I was like, yeah, I can deal with it. It's not that bad. But then once I started, developing the skill points and everything, and it clicked, I liked it a lot.
Cool. So you're definitely getting this expansion next year.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Like, I mean, yeah,
Do you think it
for
may
sure.
be like some kind of tie-in to Witcher 4? Like that they're putting this out here so that they can kind of like maybe bridge the gap on a narrative basis to what they may be giving us in the Witcher 4 game, because that kind of reminds me of when you have a game that you basically stopped developing for years ago. And then out of nowhere, you come up with an expansion, and then like you got another game that you've already announced coming out. It reminds me of um when Gearbox was releasing Borderlands 3. They did a new expansion for Borderlands 2 to kind of bridge where the story had gone with Borderlands 3 so you can kind of understand where they were. Didn't quite work out because Borderlands 3 story is absolutely cheeks, but just I just think about that and I wonder if that's something that CDPR may have maybe attempting to do. Do you think that that's might be where this new expansion may be going?
I suspect so. I mean, given the timeline, I think it takes place 10 years after Blood and Wine or the main campaign, one of those. But it's 10 years later.
Okay.
So I suspect that it is, because think about how old Ciri is in Witcher in the Wild Hunt, right? You
Mm-hmm.
figure how old she is then. She's already like what, early mid 20s, early 20s. So you tack on 10 years from that, and you very much have have a Ciri that looks like the Ciri from Witcher 4 that we got a glimpse of. So
Got
yeah, I
you.
think they're
Makes
bridging
sense.
it.
Yeah, cool. Forte, you
Yo.
play Witcher 3, right?
Yep, it's the only game I played on GOG.
Oh, interesting. Did you beat it?
Yeah, that's how long ago I played that game on GOG. That was because that's where I played it initially on GOG.
Did you play
Expansions
all
and
the
yep,
two
beat all
expansions
the
they already did? Oh,
yep.
so you're definitely getting this new one.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. Definitely going to buy this. Whatever that complete edition, because they already got a Witcher complete edition. Um, what they gonna call this one?
Yep.
Witcher complete edition plus. I don't know.
Extra complete
They gonna
edition.
call, what they gonna call this the plus version?
the
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 super edition.
completionist, the completionist edition.
Yeah, Witcher
Yeah.
completionist. Listen. I think completion. I think complete plus is a better name. But
Blood and beer.
blood and beer. Let's go. Can we go? We could go. As long as we could play Gwent, I'm all in. I play, dude. You know how much time I wasted in Gwent?
A lot of
Like,
people enjoyed it. I can't stand card games.
brother, I was
I
just
normally can't, but like I remember in
I sat there
Final
for
Fantasy
hours.
7 what's the second one? What's the
Rebirth.
second one? Rebirth.
Yeah, Rebirth.
The Queen's Blood. Oh,
Oh
I
yeah.
love me some Queen's Blood.
Man.
Queen's Blood is so dope. That they Square Enix needs to make that a standalone game. The same way CDPR made Gwent like a standalone game. They need to do
Mhm.
that because that they would make some bank off of that. Queen's Blood is dope.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I heard
but
it was.
cool.
Yeah,
I'm
but I'm
glad. Look, I'm not
definitely
gonna play
playing that.
it.
Oh man.
I'm a Cyberpunk. Where the freaking hey CDPR? Where is my Cyberpunk expansions? You had 3 planned. You released one, then you canceled the other 2 when you was getting the smoke for how bad the game launched. Now
Yep.
the game's awesome. Now and everyone thinks Phantom Liberty, the one expansion you release, is one of the best expansions ever.
Well,
Where they at, bro?
they got a lot of fires, a lot of the irons and different fires, bro. They're working on Witcher 4. They're
They got
talking.
remakes. They
They
got
got
remakes of
remake
Witcher 1 and 2. Look,
1 and
that's fine,
2.
but like the same way Fool's Theory helped them with this expansion, they got other support studios helping them with those other ones, and they also have the same the studio that did the remake of Oblivion.
Yeah.
Forgot their name, but maybe someone in the chat knows their name. But that studio has been assigned to do all the updates
Hmm.
for Cyberpunk because CDPR doesn't do it themselves. So just assign them to do the expansion. Like you just have some of your people work with them, make sure it's done right, make sure. But look, they you don't work on Red Engine no more, but they've learned how to use Red Engine. Let's go, let's get it done, man. Come on, yeah, it's just I'm
I'm with
frustrated.
you. I'm with you. I can definitely tell your frustration is definitely coming
Yeah,
through your pores.
but I hope this. Actually, not even hope. I'm pretty sure this expansion is going to be good. From what everyone has told me, and you guys could probably back it up. People say the two expansions for Witcher 3 are better than the main story. And if that's true, then they're probably really going to knock this one out the park. It's probably going to be broken at launch, like almost everything CDPR does. But at least people are going to enjoy it, so that's good. Anything else you guys want to say about this before we move on?
Oh man, that's it.
I'm excited to play it again because I played the upgraded version on PS5
Mm.
and I haven't played it yet on PC. I got the complete edition on GOG, so I am really looking forward to playing it maxed out.
That's a good question. Now, I got to figure out where my save is for GOG. Because when I
Uh,
played it, I think they did your
they don't have
they
cloud saves.
though they have filed, they have now, but I think because all of the not free DRM, they didn't. I don't think they stored it on their server. Then I think you saved on your PC, and I got to figure out what drive I have it on.
Yes,
It
thank
might
you,
be
Soul Attack. Virtuous is the support studio that they did the Oblivion port, which was very successful, and they've been supporting. They basically have been working on Cyberpunk since probably almost 2 years now. They've been
but
working on
then again,
Cyberpunk.
I might just play the game again.
Yeah,
'Cause
you probably should. Yeah,
I
just
haven't
go ahead and
played
play
it.
it
I
through
haven't
again.
played it all the way through in a while. My favorite. When it's like you start in the bathtub, man, and it's great. Start in the bathtub. This is the best thing. Like, yo, this is about to be interesting.
I've been reading the books to kind of get prepped for it, so that's been fun too.
Yeah, it's definitely going
Mm.
to be a
I
game
heard the
that
books are very different, or at
The
least
books are different.
yeah, the main character Geralt. He's different in the books from what I hear.
I
isn't it
feel
closer?
like
I think the books are closer to what the Netflix show is.
Yeah, I heard
I,
that as well. Well, at least
yeah,
the first
I feel
seasons
like
of
the
Netflix when they still had the other guy acting.
yeah the first two, the first one or two, like the first season for sure, and the second season also probably. As far as the game, Geralt, I think he's still pretty decently close. I mean, yeah, I'd say he's decently close. I definitely when I read Rich Witcher, I'm kind of visualizing and hearing Geralt from the games more so than Henry Cavill, and that's not a knock on Henry Cavill because he was a fantastic Witcher, Geralt. But yeah, I think the game captures him pretty well though.
Okay.
That's what's up.
Yeah, I'm struggling with names today, man. I can't remember names for nothing. But hey,
Uh,
look, hey, we gonna
Jennifer
move
is an
on.
ass, by the way,
Jennifer. Oh, yeah, whoa,
bruh.
Wow.
Read the
whoa.
books, homeboy. Read the
Whoa.
books. She
I
is an
know she
ass.
no, listen. No, she is confident. That's what she is. Oh my God.
Bruh, if you came across Yennefer, you would not describe her as confident. When you
Bro,
woke up out of whatever manipulation she used on you to get you thrown in the freaking dungeon, then
listen,
you wouldn't describe her as confident.
listen,
When she magically empties Geralt's bathwater out the window on
yes,
your head when
yes,
she could have sent it somewhere else, but she didn't feel like it, you would
yes.
not call that. I don't call that
She
confidence.
was.
I call that
She,
an ass.
no, she's definitely an a-hole, but she's a confident a-hole. Because guess what? Nothing happened to her. Everybody still loved her at the
I'll never understand that.
listen, Yennefer. Ooh. Then she's hot on top of that too. So good God. So
Mhm.
What's
you got
the other girl, the other love interest? What's
Tris,
the other girl's name that no one
Tris,
apparently chooses?
Chris.
Triss.
it's Tris.
Yeah, yeah. Like no, I feel like nobody chooses her. Like everyone just
I
talks about
almost, I,
Jennifer.
I almost chose her, but I went with Yennefer because I know that's kind of canon. But
Mm.
after reading these books,
Yeah,
I'm
whatever.
not
You
sure
still
yet. I'm not sure.
no, you still no, man. You went off your gut feeling the first time through, and you picked the best one, Yennefer.
Yeah,
She
that's
was
also
a
because I didn't know the person I was picking.
What you never know that. Well, hold on, you write books, sir. You understand that storylines develop over time. What you think you're getting at the beginning of the book definitely ain't what you getting at the end of the book, and you gonna be like, "Dang, she's savage."
But the problem is, when we're talking about choosing, I chose Yennefer with no background on her, having
Yeah,
not read the books. And I mean, don't get me wrong, Triss is no ice
but the
princess
books
either.
are.
She's
But yeah, she isn't. But the books are supposed to be an extension, especially when the books come after. The books, like it's
No,
just
no,
like
no. The
no,
books
no,
are
no, the
the books
books
the
come
come first.
before.
source.
The books
The
came
book,
first. You're right. The books came first. But guess what? You went into it because of the game, not because of the books. The games got you involved and made you want to read the books. Just like it's just like with Halo. The books came after, but the game got me interested in reading the
But no,
whole
it's
novels
different
that
though,
did about the
Forte,
book.
because CDPR, the games that they make are based off of books.
Off a book.
Like, but yeah, but Halo wasn't based off a book.
No,
The
the books
books
are
were
based
based off the
off the
video
game.
game. Like
Yeah.
it's the reverse. Like it's a different.
It added context. It's the same thing. It's just adding context to what
But
you're
that's
being.
different than The Witcher and Cyberpunk because the books aren't adding context. They are
No,
the
no,
source.
no, they are. Well, that's the difference when you're talking about what the difference is between one and to the other. But once again, whose fault is it that you don't go? So your reference point is the game. If you
but it's
really want,
but the thing
but
is,
if you
the thing
but
is I had never heard of The Witcher before the game, so
exactly. So
there's
no
no
one even pays
way
attention
that I
to the
could have
book.
chosen to read the books first when I didn't know the books existed
Yeah.
until The Witcher 3 came out,
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
found
yeah,
out about the books.
Okay. Okay.
but
Okay.
your
Yeah.
perspective doesn't change like the reality. The reality is that the source, like for Halo, the source is Halo, the game.
Exactly.
And then the books are just like a lot of side stories or a lot of backstory or
It's EU.
additional
It's expanded
explanation.
universe,
It's expanded universe
like
versus
Star Wars.
The Witcher, which is the source is the books, and the games are like I don't even know. Like is the game canon to
The
the
game
I
is
don't know.
canon. The game is canon, and it exists inside the story. It exists,
Okay.
like, you know what I mean. There's like a that's a pocket. That's a pocket of the
So
story
it's a
inside the greater.
chapter. It's like a
Yeah.
chapter of a book. So it's like it's like the same thing with Cyberpunk. Like the character V, your main character in
Yeah.
Cyberpunk, that V is a I wouldn't say a nobody, but like a character of little import in the grander scheme of Cyberpunk.
In the grander
It's like
scheme, yeah.
like this character basically like and the reason why CDPR was able to use V in the manner that they did and it all remained canon is because in the tabletop V isn't described as a man or a woman and V has like it's almost like a flash in the pan.
Hmm.
This low level merc that came out of nowhere got super powerful and no one knew it, and then took down one of the biggest, most dangerous people. I don't want to say who, because like some people maybe still haven't played Cyberpunk and want to play it. So just but and it was influential in in the destruction of certain like corporations and stuff. And so like this character is really powerful, but you don't have a lot of information about that character. So it becomes like something that they were able to take this character and expand upon it. But that's still like the game is just really a side story to the entire universe. And that's how CDPR typically likes to do these things. Like apparently they're working on a brand new IP as well. One of the teams are. I don't know if it's going to come out before Cyberpunk 2 does or Witcher 4 for that matter, because Witcher 4 is supposed to be before both of those. But almost guaranteed, this new IP is probably going to be based on some book that's semi-popular, and they're going to do the same thing, that the same kind of designing a game around a established universe like they've already done. So it just makes a lot of sense.
No, I get it, and you're right, and it's definitely easy to come at it once you already have the source material, and if you don't ever, you know, experience the original, it's like you're always going to go back and say, "Dang, if I would have knew this, I could see how a person say, if I would have knew this about Yennefer, I probably wouldn't have done the decisions that I did." So, I definitely get that, and I always kind of relate it to like movies and stuff, like movies that have prequels after you already seen everything and you're like, oh, so this is how it all happens and this is how it all led up to this. Like one of my favorite examples is Rogue One from Star Wars. I'm like, this is literally the beginning of everything. And hot take, Rogue One is probably the best Star Wars movie ever made. you know don't come for me on that. It might be. I think it is. I think it is the best Star Wars movie ever made. It is, in my opinion. It
I
is.
would rank it. I
I'm
would rank
trying to
it
think of a
very
better
high.
one. I'm
I
trying to think of a
rank it.
better one.
The only
Empire
one
Strikes Back.
Empire is the only one that comes close.
Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right.
Only
And
one.
I say that like Rogue One is excellent, but as you know, I have a very low opinion of Star Wars movies.
Oh yeah. Your opinion of Star Wars movies,
Yeah.
but
like to me, Rogue One is excellent. So that yeah, I agree with you about that. Um, uh, Andor is a fantastic TV
Andor is
series.
good.
Andor.
Andor is good.
Yeah,
Andor is
really
excellent. Andor is just even if it wasn't connected to Star Wars, it would have been like, and they just made it in like a whole new universe. It'd have been fantastic on its own. It's that
Right.
good. The first season of Mandalore is great. The seasons after that, I can't co-sign
I
it.
heard the movie's actually really good.
What the
Mando and
Mandalorian
Grogu.
and Grogu? I haven't seen it,
I heard it's really good.
but
Which
like
is
that, and
sad I
then
haven't seen it yet.
I feel like the video games are a better quality than their other, and the comics are a better quality than the movies
Man, I
and,
just
and
think
most of the
A
TV
lot of
shows.
a good portion of the movies, the games are better. Yeah, like
Yeah,
for sure. Like yeah, a good
like
portion of
Knights of the Old
most.
Republic, one of the best RPGs ever.
Oh, I forgot
yes,
about those are the Knights of the Old Republic probably. And
those
I'm
are
speaking.
goated.
I'm speaking out. I'm speaking slightly out of turn because I had a friend who walked me through the stories of those because I never got to play the games. But based on that alone, I would definitely rank both Knights of the Old Republic stories up there with Andor and Empire Strikes Back. Like they're incredible
Andor is
from
so
what I know. Oh, and
Andor is
Andor, of course.
Andor is so good though. It is really good. It's like the boring side. It's like the boring side of Star Wars. But they do. I feel like when it comes to like diplomat and all that other stuff and
But it's grounded.
all that stuff, yeah, when it's real grounded, the story is
All
amazing.
the politicking stuff
It's
that
so good in Star
Lucas
Wars.
yeah, Lucas tried to do it in the pre
The prequels.
trilogy,
Yep. Yeah.
and he
Yep.
failed to make that stuff compelling.
Yeah.
In Andor, they make it compelling. They make it good,
Yep.
and it's even. And I would say the second season is very relevant to what's going on in the world today. You could really look at and see a lot
Yes.
of the parallels. I know we are completely off topic. Let's just get on to the next rapid fire. But look, hey, look,
I was
we
just
just got
thinking
into
that.
talking about Star
Guess
Wars
what? Well, guess
somehow.
what? We get to see the symphony of sci-fi this Christmas. I can't wait. Can't wait for Doom 3. It's gonna be so epic.
Yeah. Doom 3 going to
About
do
to take
better
us on
than
a whole other train.
it's going to do better than Avengers. But we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on.
Well, that means he has to do better. That means he has to do better than Top Gun, because Top Gun did better than Avengers.
It did?
Yes, Top Gun did. I think 3 billion in sales.
Wow.
Wow.
I believe.
I think it
I'm about to
will. I
look
think it
that up.
will. We'll see.
I'm
We'll see.
about to look that up real quick. Go ahead.
Epic has revealed Unreal Engine 6 with Rocket League, showing the difference between Rocket League running on Unreal Engine 3 which is what is currently on. They never upgraded it to 4 or 5.
Never mind. I
And what it
lied.
looks like now on Unreal Engine 6.
I lied. Never mind.
Okay, cool.
It's Avengers by a by a wide margin still. Top
Yeah,
Gun did really good though, 1.5 billion.
yeah. I'm when I say Doom 3 is going to do better, it's going to do better than the Avengers that's coming up. The Avengers game movie is going to be coming out around like within a week or maybe the same day as Doom 3 or something like that. So that's what I'm talking about.
Oh,
Anyway,
Gotcha.
so yeah, Epic has revealed Unreal Engine 6, despite the fact they haven't quite fixed Unreal Engine 5. And like I said, it looks amazing. But again, I'm not falling for the okie doke with Epic because that Lumen and the Nanite or whatever the heck it was called demo they did with the girl, and she's like, going through caves, and then she starts flying at the end. We ain't seen nothing like that. That they showed that in 2020. We have seen nothing like that out of any actual game on Unreal Engine 5 6 years later. So when I see this, I'm thinking it's either one of two things. It's either it's them just capping again and trying to show off things that people ain't really going to be able to do, developers won't really be able to do until like 2032, or Unreal Engine 6 is really Unreal Engine 5, the fixed edition. It's just basically, it's taking them so long to fix 5 that they just decided we're just going to call it Unreal Engine 6. And I think we'll know for certain if that's the case when they like do their, and more than likely it'll probably be at like GDC next year where they'll do their official unveiling of Unreal Engine 6. If they show off Unreal Engine 6 and they don't have any super innovative like features like the way they revealed Nanite and Lumen for Unreal Engine 5, then yeah, it's just basically a fixed version of Unreal Engine 5 that can actually run Lumen and Nanite without completely crushing the hardware that's trying to run it. Forte, what do you think about that, man?
I think you're spot on. At a certain point, you haven't even. It's like at least Microsoft, when it came to Windows 11, allowed it to like exist for like dang near half a decade before they decided to move on and say like, okay, now everybody needs to move over and not just changing something else. And we know they got Windows 12 coming up soon. That's why they wanted everybody to migrate to 11. So the
Mm-hmm.
transition over to that is easier. But Epic is basically just trying to throw the okie doke. Says, yeah, we it's a lot. Instead, like you said, it's all marketing. So instead of just saying, this is an update to Unreal 5, we could put a shiny new number on it, and then everybody can say, well, these are the improvements that we made from 5 to 6. So all the
Right.
issues we were
And
having
a
in
new
5
generation is starting, right? Like
in a new,
Helix is supposed to be
exactly.
coming out next year,
Yep.
potentially PlayStation 6. So a new generation is starting. We're getting new hardware.
Mm-hmm.
Steam machines supposed to be coming out, and we're gonna get into that later on. And so now like with new hardware, Epic has always had a new version of Unreal. And so they're just really just in my opinion, they're just calling this 6 because they feel for marketing reasons they need to.
They need to,
But
right?
but they don't really have anything that's going to be worthy of being like a completely new version. Like which on the other side, the flip side of this, Forte, this
Mm-hmm.
might make the transition from quote unquote 5 to 6 easier if it's
Oh
really
yeah.
not that much different, because we've seen this in the past where going from Unreal Engine 3 to 4 for developers was very painful.
Right.
That transition was not very good, especially if they were already developing a game on 3 and then try to upgrade to 4. The same for like, and Epic saw this and then promised developers going from 4 to 5 would not be as painful, but that kind of
Right.
wasn't true. A lot of people just stayed with 4. For example, like South of Midnight is on 4, and they said we just didn't see any reason to move up. Square Enix with the Final Fantasy VII R series, they said that Unreal Engine 5, and the one of the directors said this. I'm not even lying or capping. He said the Unreal Engine 5 is an incomplete game engine, and so we're keeping
Mhm.
Rebirth on 4, and then we're just going to finish them all on 4. That's kind of, it's kind of damning for your game engine when people are just like, yes, it's not real. It's not a complete game engine. We can't work with that.
Yeah, and that's the biggest takeaway for me. It's, you know, the easiest way to promote something is to put another number on it or to make it the next iteration, and you'll get more eyeballs on it just because you move the number or move the decimal point to like call it something different. And see, this makes me upset because I'm thinking about Bungie right now and how they could have made something with a 3 and it'd been a lot better. But to each his own. But yeah, I do think that's kind of the way that this is going to be perceived as something new, but it's basically going to just be upgrades to the framework that they already had in place on Unreal 5, and they're just going to give it a shiny new number.
Yeah, yeah. Ramon, what are your thoughts about this?
Well, I'll start off with something that Arcade said in the chat. So, basically, did Epic was Sweeney lying when he said it's the developers not optimizing properly? And I think it's a mix of both, because we have seen developers, we've seen very few, but we've seen some studios drop a game in UE5 that ran well, if heavy. All of
Mm-hmm.
their games run heavy, but some that were, you know either from I'm trying to think. I'll think of it in a minute, but um I want to have my initial reaction was to have a bunch of smoke, and rightfully so, because UE5 has so many problems. But I will say UE5 also enabled games like Echoes of the End to be what they are. Echoes of the End is a double A game in the vein of like a God of War.
Mm-hmm.
It is such a good game. Like, I wish it got more attention. I think it did well for the studio. I think it did well last I heard. But I was championing that game. If I was like, a super popular, had a huge platform, I would have adopted that game as like, the poster child. Like, I would have pushed it all the way, because I really enjoyed it. It was an ambitious project by a small team. It was their first double A project of this size, and it ran UE5. It was a heavy game, so I mean, if they'd had the resources, it probably could have ran. I don't want to say ran better, but ran less demanding.
Mm-hmm.
But it launched buggy to the point where I refunded it, and I refunded it with the intention to buy it again, and they fixed so much of it so fast that I probably could have just kept it. But I rebought it again once they had fixed a bunch of the bugs, and they stuck with it. I know I've gone off on a tangent, but they stuck with it to the point where they fixed so much and polished up so much and made so many changes that the game is almost like a new game now. And but they, after all the polishing and everything and fixing stuff that you don't know until you release, a lot of times that's what I've heard developers say, is you think you've nailed everything, but then you don't know until a player comes back and they're like, hey, this happened. You're like, oh crap, okay, let's go fix it.
Right.
But that game runs well now, and it's UE5, and it runs good. It runs really good. um what's that game that was good but not great? It was one of the first UE5 games. It's a first person shooter. We both played it,
EA made
slow
it.
mo. Yeah, the
Yeah, yeah. It was like
you know
it
what I'm
was like
talking
you were
about.
doing gang signs and shooting spells out of your
The
hands and
magic for
stuff. Yeah,
spells, yeah.
yeah. I forgot. Yeah, it was a
Yeah,
decent game. It was a decent game. It had some
yeah,
big
it
name
was a
actors
decent game.
in it. Really good motion capture and
Wait.
cutscenes and
Ramon
stuff.
wasn't in it, so it didn't have good enough actors.
Oh man, you
True
spoiling me,
enough.
man.
True
You
enough.
spoiling me. I appreciate it.
Um, Yeah, I can't remember
But
that game,
yeah,
but that studio shut down actually. Like that.
yeah, it was a shame. It was a shame.
So
It was a
so so
good
the
start
issues
too.
with that game was that they tried to do the full suite of Unreal Engine. They were using
Yeah,
Nanite and they were using Lumen, and I don't think at the time those tools with Unreal Engine were mature enough to really do that. And it was part of the reason why it ran so heavy. Like Lumen was a part, like you couldn't turn it off. It was literally a part of the lighting system completely. And typically, like for example, like with ray tracing or path tracing, developers will have the option. Like sometimes you see every now and then that they'll have ray tracing and it's not an option. Like Remedy has done that, I think, with Alan Wake 2. Maybe someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but like we've seen a handful of games that do that where ray tracing is the default option. But typically you're getting like regular screen space reflections, regular like baked lighting, and then you also have, if you have the hardware capable of handling it, you have the option for ray tracing, you have the option for path tracing. And like they didn't develop that game like that. Like Lumen has in it, it has ray trace global illumination. And so it ran really heavy. And where a lot of those games out there that are successful using Unreal Engine 5, they turn Lumen and Nanite off. They don't use any of that. Like, for example, Arc Raiders. Arc Raiders, super successful extraction shooter using Unreal Engine 5. It uses none of that stuff, and it runs well. It's not too heavy. You can run it on even just regular, mid level hardware, and it's fine. And I think a lot of developers just gave up on whatever the marketing pitch that Epic had about, oh, like this is going to make it so easy for you. Hey, you just turn on Nanite, and now like you can just throw in 8K textured at 8K resolution rock walls and have it, and you don't have to downgrade the visuals at all in order for it to not kill the very limited memory you have in this particular scene of this part of the game. It's just not true. It's just not how that works. And so, or at least not at this point. So they, long story short, Epic has got a lot of people, I think, and I think this is good, developing their own game engines. You see a lot of publishers that have the resources saying, hey, look, we'd rather rely on our own stuff, but we're going to do it smarter than, say, like EA did with Frostbite. We're going to make sure that the game engine is actually useful for all the developers that we have, and capable of doing what they need, like Snowdrop with Ubisoft and id Tech with Bethesda. Like these game engines have different branches of it that work well, especially id Tech. Like id Tech is created by id Software, but like I think it's called Void Engine. Void Engine, I think, is used by either Arcane or Machine Games, but it's just an offshoot of id Tech. So like that's a good way to go about it, where you can make sure that like the kind of issues that Unreal has doesn't become your issues, because Epic being unable to fix their game engine created a problem where the majority of the game industry were having the same problems, the same shader caching issues, the same stutter issues. Everyone's having it because Epic has it, but Doom didn't have that problem. Guerrilla Games with Horizon Zero Dawn and Forbidden West, and Kojima
Pearl
Productions
Abyss,
with Death Stranding. They didn't have those issues because what's the name of
Pearl,
the engine?
Pearl Abyss.
Decima.
Oh,
Yeah,
Decima,
yeah.
yeah.
Decima engine doesn't have a shader caching problem. So like the issues of Epic have caused other developers to go start looking outside of Epic for solutions, and not everyone can do that, because like say if the three of us decide to make a game together, we're gonna have to go grab either Unreal or Unity.
And I would not touch Unity. I'll never trust Unity. I
Well,
don't
here's the
care if
thing
they
is that,
walk it back. I would never trust them anymore.
well, yeah, that part, that stuff is shady. The stuff they did to their creators. But if you're making a game that's like something like a Hades or a side scroller,
Yeah.
those kind of games, Unity is actually better for those kind of games than
Yeah, that's
Unreal is.
true.
Unreal, when it comes to like big 3D environment, AAA kind of titles, yeah, definitely choose that over Unity. But the point is that like you want to try to, if you're a smaller studio and you want to make a game, it's already hard enough as it is and taking years out of your life to do that. Just add on more years, you're going to build your own engine while you're doing it too. So it is what it is.
Oh,
Um,
real quick, Mr. Dachi got the name Immortals of Avian.
that's it. Immortals of Avian. Yeah, I actually got
Yeah.
that for free from EA. They gave it to me for free because they wanted me to test it. What they should have did, they should have gave it to me and the other creators. They gave it to months earlier because the feedback I had was like, "Yo, you gotta fix this performance." And I had a couple of other like I guess like game design things I thought they probably should change. But like they gave it to me a month before it was launching. You're not changing that stuff. Like it's just too late. You're gonna launch the game, so it's just is what it is. But yeah. Thanks, Dachi. Immortals of Avian. It was not a bad game at all. It's just I don't know why people didn't like it. Maybe it was just too different. But
Yeah, I don't know. I liked it. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I thought it was a great game. Well, I mean, the low side of great, but I thought I enjoyed it a lot.
it was decent. I had fun with it. I really like the powers and how they synergize and how different like
Yeah.
abilities were used for different situations. How you just switch it on the fly in combat. Like once as you start to develop it and get more abilities, and then they start throwing more enemies at you, it got really fun combat wise. It's just you had to get your head around it. But all right,
A
that's all
nice little
the
story.
rapid fires we got. You guys ready to get into our main topics here?
Let's go.
All right. Well, look, we got this actually happened today. A big reveal from Activision and Infinity Ward about Modern Warfare 4. They launched the reveal trailer of that. I knew I was forgetting something. I should have grabbed the reveal trailer, but it is what it is. Um Here's some Modern Warfare 3 gameplay for you guys to look at. Weezo?
You still have that.
Dude, I have an entire 16 terabyte external hard drive full of gameplay. So yeah, I still have that. But no, so this one, Modern Warfare 4, I actually thought the reveal trailer looked pretty dope. It shows a pretty interesting campaign taking place in Korea. You are a new recruit American soldier stationed in South Korea, and it's your first like campaign or first whatever. So you're like pretty green, and then you're stationed with the South Korean soldiers when North Korea invades. And so the whole like I think that's a bit of a different premise that I think people might get behind because as especially if you're like a someone who just likes the campaigns, you don't really play the multiplayer. Um, Playing with a character that's kind of new to this stuff and knew the combat and knew the killing and being threatened to be killed is different than say uh going with Price again or Ghost, and it's just like these are hardened killers who just got one liners for days and whatnot, and so even though Price is still in it, like I think I saw something that showed that he's still in there. But I think that's an interesting premise, and I'm interested to see how that continues, how that goes. Modern Warfare 4 is going to release on October 23rd, so they're releasing it before GTA 6, as we all figured they would. And as we've spoken about before, and we've been saying this, me and Forte have been saying this for over a year now. We've been knew this was going to happen, but this year's Call of Duty will not be on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. And in addition to that, Warzone, which even though it's a part of Call of Duty's HQ, it's not necessarily a part of the annual releases. But Warzone, the Battle Royale, will no longer be available after when the first season of Modern Warfare 4 launches. So probably November. It's probably maybe like the second week of November. You're not gonna be able to get Warzone on the old consoles anymore. So, Forte, what are your thoughts about Modern Warfare 4?
Okay.
Oh, let
Um,
me also speak on some of the information that we've heard about this already. So, because maybe you don't have a lot of thoughts on it, but maybe this will help you out.
yeah.
Omni movement is gone. So Omni movement will not be in Modern Warfare 4. They said they feel like Omni movement is a Black Ops thing, and they want Black Ops to play and feel different than Modern Warfare. And so, although they won't have Omni movement, they will have mantling, sliding, slide canceling. Overall movement is from people who've already played it earlier, content creators who played it earlier said it's faster and more responsive in movement. You can go into a slide straight from a mantle. You can hang on ledges and shoot people from ledges and stuff like that. So there's some other different things there. They're doing this different thing now where it's called like an apex attachment. So when you max your gun out, just by doing that, you will unlock this apex attachment, which can change how the gun works. So it can either add like secondary fire or change how like explosive shells for a shotgun, which I think is trash. And anyone who uses explosive shells in a shotgun, you know what kind of person I think you are. Anyway, just things like that, and of course, the big thing they're really pushing because distraction shooters are all the rave now. They bringing back DMZ, which I think they should have never gave up on in the first place. But DMZ, I think, was in Mass Effect. Not Mass Effect. Good grief. Modern Warfare 2, I think it was. It was either in 2 or 3, and they only had it around for a few months. And even though I think if any other studio had the numbers they have for DMZ, they had been overjoyed. But as far as Activision is concerned, that wasn't good enough to keep the amount of resources and people on it. And so they gave up on DMZ after a few months. But it looks like now that extraction shooters are in, that they are giving it another shot. So with all that said, Forte, what are your thoughts?
Same. I mean, my biggest thing with Call of Duty is like it's like the same thing that I feel like it is with the Fast and the Furious movies. The shark has been jumped so many times, I just don't care anymore. Um, but in general, I don't know if it's just that I don't care for the gameplay style as much as I used to.
You just
Like,
no, hold up.
go ahead.
You were just 2 weeks ago complaining to me, I'd rather play Modern Warfare than Black Ops and all this stuff. I'm in for Modern Warfare 4. Now they show off Modern Warfare 4, and you doing the same thing you was doing with that with
I'm
Black
more ready
Ops.
for Modern Warfare than Black Ops because I played Modern Warfare way more than Black Ops. But until you know how it is, even Modern Warfare 3 when it came out, it took me to play the game to be like, oh, okay, I actually like this, enough to play it. And even that game I didn't play is nowhere near as much as you played it. It's like I'm just at that point with Call of Duty, like, and it's like I could kind of take it or leave it at this point. The only reason I buy it and pick it up is to appease my best friend so he can have another person every once in a while to play it with that's not just a peon kind of, but
A what?
a peon. You don't know what a peon is?
Yeah, but I mean, like, I don't think any other the people I play with are peons, man.
Well, I'm not.
It's disrespectful.
I didn't name no people. I didn't say like
Oh,
Taz or anybody.
Oh, why are you naming Taz?
Well, I'm just saying because Taz is like a person you play with all the time, and Taz isn't a peon.
Okay.
I just had to, since you brought up that, oh, I don't play with people that I think they're a peon. I said, well, okay, let me put another one out there and say I'm not talking about this person or
Uh,
these people.
so we talking? You talking about something about logic?
Oh well.
Oh, wow. Game logic.
Logic's not a peon either. He's better than me at Call of Duty because I'm gonna tell you this. This is the funny thing. Logic is better than me at Call of Duty because he can persevere that game. It takes a lot to persevere in that game.
That's a backhanded comment. That's a
No, that is
backhanded
not a backhand.
compliment.
That is not a
Because
backhanded compliment.
you're
Because
saying
no,
you're
no,
saying
you can
he's better than you, not because he's better than you, but because he can stand the game.
Yes, that is part of it. That is a big
Ramon.
SloMo.
Is that no? Let's let Ramon be the tiebreaker here. Ramon, isn't that what is called a backhanded compliment?
Yeah, that's a very painful.
No,
That's a
Thank you.
backhand compliment.
that is not.
Thank
No, it's definitely not a
you.
backhanded.
He's
I
like,
hate to say
yeah,
it, Forte, but that
he's
was a
better than
backhanded.
me in this game simply
Yeah.
because I can't stand playing it.
He
That's
can
what
eat
you're
more.
saying.
He can eat more chicken nuggets than me because he can stand the grotesque taste of them.
Yes, that is a legit.
So what you're saying is you
If
would be
I
better than
if,
Logic in the game if you enjoyed it more.
answer that question for yourself, SloMo. What do you think? Be honest.
No,
with
I'm
yourself.
asking. I asked you a question.
I'll answer the question. I'll
Don't
answer the question
answer
for
a
you.
question with a
No,
question.
I'll answer the question, and you have to answer it right back after me. Okay?
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't know.
Mhm.
Man. I think you
Okay.
gotta prove it, man. I think you gotta prove
Okay,
it.
sounds good. That's good. That you know what that sounds like? That sounds like a person trying to throw the gauntlet down, saying you need to get in there and play the game with me. No,
What?
good.
What?
That's what you said. You need to prove it. So that means I got to go into the game and
You ain't gotta play
play
with
it.
me. Just play it.
Oh, so all I got
I'll
to do.
see. I'll see your stats. I'll see your stats.
Hold on. Okay, what is his stats? I need to know what was he like, a 1.13 or something like that?
I think he was a little bit higher. I think he's like a 1.15 right now.
Okay,
I think.
1.15.
Well, I
So
mean, look,
if
I
I
haven't looked in a while, so I
if I
don't know.
go, well, it couldn't have got better.
Why not? Oh, see what you're doing? You see,
got better.
Ramon, you see this? He couldn't have got better. That
How
is
about-
terrible.
No, he couldn't have got better. Couldn't have got better.
Oh my God.
Listen. So basically, what you're saying to me is all I need to do is go into this game because I have very low match counts. So it won't take that long if I play by myself to like.
We had
improve
the
that
same
number.
conversation 2 months ago. When I told you Logic had a higher KD than you were like, "What? Hold up, seriously?" I was like, "Yeah," and I was like, and then you was like, "You only got like 5 matches, so if you just go in and do your thing, you'll get a higher KD than him, and then you can just say, all right, I got a higher KD than him." And then what did you do? You actually didn't go any higher.
Yeah, because I'm playing under your skill base, and your skill base is horrific.
Okay, so just play by yourself.
Pause.
Very big pause. But just play Black Ops 7 alone.
Yep.
And then you'll have your own.
Then I'll get a message like, you ain't tell me you were playing Black Ops 7.
I'm literally telling you to do it.
Okay, I'm gonna do it.
Logic came on here last week and said, "Why don't I play with you, SloMo? Because your skill-based matchmaking sucks. And when I want to accomplish goals in this game, I want to do that and not be frustrated. And so when I finish that stuff, if you're on, I'll hit you up." And I understood. So I get it. So just look, if you better than him, you gotta prove it. Otherwise, you just talking smoke, man.
Okay. I hear you.
I like messing with you, man. I love you, bro.
I love you. Hey, listen, I love you more than you think.
Okay.
You're awesome.
I don't know what that means, but Ramon, Ramon, I know you don't play the multiplayer stuff, but you might go and check out the campaign, and this campaign looks pretty interesting. What the premise that I described, is that something you might want to play?
Um, Probably not. I mean,
Okay.
I struggle with the I don't know, like the military games in general. Like what I mean by that is, for example, Killzone, right? Like
Hmm.
I, even though the Hellgas are an alien race, they're very human-like, and and I'm about to sound like a major hypocrite, and I own it. But like, military game, shooting up a bunch of people in a campaign, like it bugs me. Yet I have no problem cutting down legions of people in a Ghost of Yotei or Ghost of Tsushima. So I recognize that I'm a hypocrite, but
Oh my
just
god.
I don't know, it just doesn't. I don't know. I can't really
No, you
get
you
down with
good. You good. I understand.
it. But yeah, I don't think it's really. I think Call of Duty is not really for me. But
Hmm.
at the same time, like it sounds like quality, so I hope it's good for all you guys though.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, and yeah, it's I haven't. I'll just say this: like Modern Warfare Three's campaign is the last campaign I played. I have not played the campaigns for 6 or 7, and it's kind of unfair to Treyarch because they didn't make Modern Warfare 3, but Modern Warfare Three's campaign was so bad, and the way it ended, like if anyone who's played it and to completion, they know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to spoil the ending, but like that really pissed me off. And I was just like, I think I'm done with their campaigns forever. After that, and I haven't played
Wow.
one since. And that's kind of unfair, even though Seven's campaign, from what everyone has said, is actually worse than Modern Warfare 3. So I will not be playing that. But I don't know, maybe I'll eventually uh give 6 a shot, because I never really heard anything bad about 6, but it's just Modern Warfare Three's campaign just left such a bad taste in my mouth. I refuse to give it a shot. So, but I do think I might actually play this one because I like the premise that they came up with. So I'm here for it. There was something else I think I
We here
wanted
for
to.
it, baby.
Oh, Forte, you may find this fascinating. People
Oh,
are
please share.
saying people are saying there is no bloom whatsoever in
Really?
in Modern Warfare 4. Yeah,
No bloom.
no bloom.
Oh Lord.
They said this thing is called weapons first called ballistic authority or something like that. So bloom is removed completely. Wherever the barrel or the reticle is aiming is going to be the trajectory of the bullet. Now, I don't know if now, and they're saying for certain that's the case for hip firing. So in close case encounter, like in close range encounters, you can expect that. Um, I don't know if that is going to be the same for sniping, but if it is, that's going to be make things
Oh,
very interesting.
it's gonna make it worse.
I'm just saying interesting. I don't know how it's
You
going to
know, make
play
it
out.
worse. No, because Bloom. Because you think about like this, is Bloom in all the Call of Duties at this point now, and people run around no scoping people when they have no business doing it with snipers. Just imagine if you actually aim and do it. That means your bullet's going exactly where your reticle's going. So it's gonna be worse. Well, then again, some people have to get good with no scoping, so it actually might help that a little bit. If it's just not
True.
because anybody that doesn't know what bloom is basically a mechanic that allows your bullet deviation to go into a fixed cone of the center of your view of your screen. So when you're running around and you're like when you see your reticle, usually when you're running, your reticle's bigger versus if you're just standing, your reticle's at a steady pace. And when you
Yeah.
zoom in, your reticle's at its smallest pace. But that means
Yeah.
your
It,
bullet can fall anywhere inside of that reticle, no matter what.
it,
And the
it
thing about
also affects like if you extended fire, sustained fire. It
Yeah,
also
sustained
affects
fire.
that too.
Yeah, because your reticle
Will jump.
expands and
Yeah.
retracts every time you shoot. That's why pulsing the trigger is such a good thing, because it keeps your reticle at its smallest point when you're pulsing, when you're doing post
Well,
firing and stuff.
yeah, at long range, like at longer
At
ranges.
longer
Yes.
ranges, yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, at longer ranges. Yeah, I mean, listen, that makes me a little bit more interested that if they take Bloom out of it, because that's the one thing that always irritated me about Call of Duty, because the fact that people run around doing the things that they shouldn't be able to do, they're like Universal Soldier, which is crazy. But yeah, that actually might be a game changer, and that might actually make me want to, play the game, because the one thing I like about a lot of other shooters, they actually address Bloom. It's like a big thing. Like in Battlefield, when they do weapon tunings and updates, Bloom is always at the top of the list. It's always there, like, because they know people hate firing a weapon and your bullet just, where did it go? Where did my bullet go? I'm aiming at this dude, but the bullet missed him, even knowing I got 90% of the reticle on his head. But for some reason, the bullet decided to catch the one part of the reticle that was off his head a little bit. And that is infuriating. And it doesn't happen as much in games like Battlefield, because they are consistently tweaking that, just like in Halo. That's why hip fire was such a big thing in Halo, because the way that your reticle was situated, Bloom was a thing in that game, but it was very, very not as pronounced, because if you were firing from the hip, you weren't spamming the reticle or spamming the trigger, compared to like if you were using the assault rifle or something like that, where Bloom was even more prevalent. But yeah, I actually like this, and it actually might make me a little bit more happier to play this game, because that's literally the only thing that irritates me about Call of Duty is people running around like they have no business pulling off shots that they shouldn't. Now, can anybody do it?
It's all
Yes,
skill,
everybody can
skill,
do
baby.
it. But I'm not trying to learn how to play that way, because that is a bad way of playing. It's a terrible way of playing. And you know it's slow-mo. That's why you don't do it.
Well, I mean, look, I don't
But
like.
you got I watch your
I don't.
gameplay, and you be doing some of the most unconventional stuff. You lean into those mechanics, bro. You be leaning into sliding sideways, body torquing in a 360-degree
Body
angle.
twerking.
And I'm sitting there looking like, that's not
I'm
even
over here pretending I didn't
possible.
hear unconventional.
Body. I heard that too, right?
Yeah,
But I just let it go. But body twerking.
You be out here twerking for real with that. Your lower half is doing things that no lower half should be able to do when you are running around your little
Sir,
kid.
I have never twerked anything a day in my life.
Brother,
That's one.
please.
Two, me taking advantage of the movement in Black
good for
Ops
you.
is just me taking advantage of what the tools that are at my disposal. The developers put those tools in the game to create a skill gap between.
Big fine soldier, won't you shoot that
And that's
thing?
why
Oh, I'm
I'm
sorry.
Okay, all right.
And
You
that
better.
is why slow-mo
Cut
and that's
that
why
out.
slow-mo will always be better than me at Call of Duty, because he is willing to set up and twerk to the mechanics of the game.
See, look, we gotta stop calling omni movement twerking, because it's not
That's
twerking.
what it
Okay,
is,
it's not
bro.
jumping. Well, okay, in 7 they added wall jumping. That's not twerking. You're literally just ricocheting off a wall.
Slow-mo, let me ask you.
And
Slow-mo.
omni movement is literally just I can just jump
Slow-mo.
instead of
Slow-mo.
sliding. It gives you more options.
Slow-mo. Are you telling me, yes, but you're leaving out one key point. Yes, all of those things are true. It's meant for you to like run off walls, and you could jump and you could shoot and all, and you could twerk your body in certain ways.
See, keep saying twerking. There's no twerking going on.
What you're trying
Look,
to say, no,
what I'm saying is
you
that
can literally turn your body if you are physics are being broken when you're playing this game. You're
No, it's
literally
not.
running
You're
and jumping,
exaggerating, man.
and
You
turn
haven't
your
played it
listen.
enough to
You
even have this
Slomo,
opinion,
Slomo.
honestly.
You can literally
You
turn
have not played this game
360
enough.
degrees in the air while you're in the air.
You
And
can
shoot
do
somebody
that in
behind you.
Halo. You can do that in Halo.
No, you
People used to do 360 sniper kills in Halo. What are you talking about?
But in Halo, it's like the most painful thing to do because you're
But
so
you can
slow.
do it.
No, but it's like you can do it in real life. You can jump up if you got the ability, like if you're on a trampoline in real life, you can literally jump on a trampoline and do a 360 in the air and shoot a gun, and it looks just as painful in Halo when you do it.
You ain't gonna hit nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
But in Halo, you can hit people.
And 90% of the time, well, that's because bullet deviation in Halo is really not a thing. It's like if you put your reticle on somebody's head with a sniper rifle in Halo, they are dead. It's like I don't care where you shoot. If that reticle is on their head in Halo, bullet deviation is not a thing.
Okay, let's get back to the topic. One, omni movement is not working. Cut it out. You have not played the game long enough to have this to be legitimately acting like this opinion is based on anything but your own disdain for learning how to play the game. You do not you do not want to learn how to play the game, and that's all this is. Because even though people have this idea, people have this idea that like every Call of Duty is the same. And when I hear people say that, I know they don't play Call of Duty. Because if they actually play Call of Duty, they would not have that opinion, because every Call of Duty is not the same. Like there's even the differences between Black Ops 6 and Black Ops 7. Like major differences. Like even with aim assist, for example, how aim assist is harder on 7 than it is on 6. But like people who don't play the game wouldn't know these things. And so when it comes to
Blade X says slow-mo hype for a new car. What a shocker.
Shut up, Blade X. Anyway, so when it comes to like when they introduce new elements to any shooter, you have to ask yourself, okay, we all have like a basic, or everyone who's good at shooters has a basic foundation for good shooting skills, right?
Yes.
So
absolutely.
But that can only help you so much in any shooting game. You need to learn the maps, learn the mechanics, learn the movement, learn what is like how the gunplay is, things like bloom, how does that affect how the guns work? Learn the game. And as you play the game more, you learn these things. At some point in time, there will come a point in time where you will realize, I need to start doing X, Y, Z to reach another skill level in this game, in this particular game. I need to learn to get better at X, Y, Z. Most people,
and I agree,
they won't admit it. They won't admit it, but most people mentally say, I'm not going to do that. And that's when they stop playing the game. Because they're like, I need to get better at this, and I don't want to learn to do that. I don't want to struggle in matches until I get it right. I don't want to look up what other people are showing, or other people who are already better at the game and see what they say and see how they do it, or figure out the movement myself. I don't want to spend the time to do it, so I drop the game and move on. And I'm not criticizing people for saying I don't want to do that. It's your free time. It's your disposable time, and you can do whatever you want with it. But what I say all this to say, calling omni movement twerking is not twerking because it's just not that.
This man just slid into a corner and did a 360-degree turn in 0.1 seconds, bro.
Hey, man. I could do that in real life. I mean, I might throw my hip out. I might throw my hip up. But I could do that in real life right now, man.
You'll do it once, and that's about it.
He'd be in a hospital. He'd be in a hospital, bro. That's what I'm talking
You'll be in
about.
the hospital. You're like, but I did it.
But I did it exactly.
But
You
I
know,
did it.
I'm getting hip replacement surgery tomorrow. But look, I did it. It was done.
No,
So look,
but I agree. Like I said, I'm gonna be consistent with it. I agree with everything because you just said it. That was the number one thing you said. You said most people that don't want to do certain things that fall instead of doing it, they just stop playing. And that's where I am. And that's kind of where I've always been because I just don't want to learn how to do any of that stuff. And I don't know, maybe it's just because Call of Duty just hasn't spoken to me like that in a while. I used to love Call of Duty, used to play it all the freaking time. I don't know what kind of happened. I just kind of fell off of it all of a sudden. And I just don't want to learn how to twerk. That's it. There's nothing wrong with it.
I'm going to need you to stop giving me a visual,
twerk.
Forte. I have an involuntary visual imagination.
A slow-mo twerking, 6'5",
No,
6'5",
you just
twerking
said
around
I
the
don't want to
thing.
learn how to twerk, and I'm suffering right now. So I'm going to need you
Oh,
to
listen.
rein in the twerking thing because you're killing me.
Oh, okay, you're right. I got you. But that's it.
I also like this is a major tangent, but have you guys heard of a dude comedian on Instagram called Wilms?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
what in
Well,
the
he
world?
basically his whole shtick is seeing people saying or doing ridiculous things, uh, roasting the hell out of them, and then saying "pack you up." And one of them was a whole bunch of dudes in Atlanta having twerking contests. Dudes. So
Oh,
All right, look,
I
yeah.
was able to forget about it, and then now you done made me remember it again, and I'm suffering. So
I'm sorry. I
I have
apologize.
you to blame for
He is
that.
not
All
sorry.
right.
He's not
I am
sorry at all.
sorry. I am sorry. Very sorry. I do not want to bring displeasure to my new best friends, Ramon Terrell.
Oh, I appreciate it. It's all right.
Oh,
It's an involuntary trauma. It's not your fault. It's the dudes who actually were on video doing it. But anyway.
afraid to ask you
Well,
how that went down, but
no, I saw the videos, and after I cleaned up the vomit, I moved on with my life, and I haven't looked back since.
All right, let's get into this final topic of tonight. It is about good old Valve. Man, sometimes I get tired of being right. Sometimes I just want to be wrong. Sometimes I just want to just say things that don't make any sense. Just to be wrong sometimes. Because being right all the time is boring sometimes. It just gets boring. Like, I told people the Steam machine was going to be expensive. And it wasn't like I got some inside source. I don't. It wasn't that I'm like psychic or something. I'm not. It's because I just listened to what Valve said.
yep.
Valve told y'all it was going to be expensive. When Lions Tech Tips said, hey, is this thing going to be like $600? And they looked at them like he had a third eye in his forehead.
And he
that
made a
should have
video
been-
about it.
He even told you this was going to be the case. When Valve came out there and said, hey, look, Steam machine, we're pricing it like a PC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
PCs are more expensive than consoles. But people still, the Valve fanboy, the Steam fanboys who think they're special, who think they're not like console fanboys and y'all no different than them. The Steam fanboys refuse to admit this, refuse to believe it. Oh, I think it'd be like $400, $500.
Yeah, buddy.
What?
I do not
You think it'll
understand
be-
how they could
like-
think that.
They literally thought it would be cheaper. The Steam machine would be cheaper than the Steam Deck that was already outdated hardware. And so now here we are.
We are.
This week, Valve has raised the price of the Steam Deck OLED, which has been out of stock, sold out for months. It's back in stock. Or at least it was for one day. It got sold out again. But when it came back in stock, the 1 terabyte version had gone from $650 to $950.
Yep.
$950. Nearly $1,000 for an outdated PC handheld that I have. I have it. It's a great handheld, but it's outdated. I can't play nothing like I won't play Cyberpunk on that. I refuse to look at that beautiful game in that state. Can't play heavy games on that. But you want me to someone to spend $1,000 on it? Crazy. And the 512 gigabyte version went from $550 to $790. Both versions, as I said, came back in stock at these astronomical prices and went right out of stock before the day was out. They also brought back the refurbished Steam Deck OLED and older version LCD screen versions of Steam Deck, which also went out of stock and sold out like the same day.
Sound like people speaking with their wallets.
Either that or Valve didn't have a lot of inventory to begin with, which I'm leaning more towards that because I think the Steam controller sold out in 30 minutes. But I don't think the Steam controller had like a huge amount of inventory. I just think that, and Valve does this all the time. Like when the Valve Index, which was their first VR headset, when that first came out, it was $1,000. And people was just like, $1,000, that was the most expensive VR headset on the market. And people was like, no one's buying that for $1,000 and it sold out. I just think that like they price things, not price, but they have just enough inventory because they only sell their hardware from their store. So they don't they're not trying to supply Best Buy and Walmart and Target and name your favorite retailer in your country. They're not stocking to anyone but the Steam store. And so when you can just have everybody come to you in this one place, you just have the inventory that you got. If it's sold out in 15 minutes, it's sold out in 15 minutes. Sorry for you. We'll let you know when we're back in stock. So that's how they go about it. So a lot of people thinking like, why did you morons spend $1,000 on an outdated Steam Deck? And still, like, someone bought it. So they are some morons for doing that. Sorry if you get offended if that was you. But I don't think it was like a gazillion people who did it. That said, what does this bode for the Steam machine, which Valve said is 6 times more powerful than a Steam Deck? A known leaker of Valve information and stuff like that stated that 2 months ago, Valve's internal price for the Steam machine was absolutely already over the $950 Steam Deck OLED price they just revealed this week. Now, if you listen to DPS, I told y'all this a year ago. I told y'all this when they first revealed it. I priced out the parts that they revealed, got equivalent PC hardware, and I came out to $900 if I were to build a Steam machine myself. They're not going to sell that at a loss, man. That's not how Valve rolls. So of course it was going to be more expensive. But hey, now everyone's finally realizing the Steam machine is going to be over $1,000. Just took them a year to finally get there. Forte.
Yo.
Is there any chance the Steam machine is going to be a success?
Not at the mass scale that Valve probably wants it to be. I mean, but then again, you also got to think about the Steam Deck. Like, how many Steam Decks did they actually? What was the last number that they published? Like just over 2 million or something like that.
No, they're more than that. They're like at like 4 or 5 million.
4 or 5 million. Yeah. So and that's
but it's been out for how long? Let me double check.
Yeah, Steam Deck has been out for a while, and tell me exactly what year it came out, because it's been out for a minute, and I think it's going to sell well enough to the people it needs to sell to. Now the question is going to come down to, is Valve going to do what Valve normally
February 2022. So it's been out for
4
more than 4
years?
years, and it's only sold. Let
So
me
so
get that.
so it sold about anywhere from 1 to 1.2 million copies a year if it's at 5 million, or 4 to 5 with the exact numbers. But
Yeah.
needless to say, depending on what Valve decides to do, is going to be how people are
Okay.
going to
It's
perceive it.
estimated between 3.7 to 4 million.
Oh yeah, so they selling less than a million a year.
Yeah. So
And the
because
majority of those sales
they're
happen at the
not.
beginning.
Yes, and they're not. Well, I mean, they always sell out. Like I said, like they
But how many are they
whatever they have
making?
in inventory. That's it. That's the point. So if you only you're always selling out, but you've only sold 4 million units lifetime in 4 years. You're not making a ton. You may be making like a couple thousand,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Yep.
you sell them out, and then you make another couple thousand.
They're
Like
basically
whatever
selling up to demand.
warehouses that they have, exactly. So like they're just fulfilling demand. Whatever warehouses they had, they don't have like huge warehouses full of stuff, and that's probably, considering the economy, worldwide, that's probably the best way to go about it if you think about it. That said, like this is
Well, if you think
egregious
about,
for Valve. Like it's over a 40% price increase. Like that's
yeah,
just for the Steam Deck. That's for outdated hardware. That's
well,
insane.
well, I will play devil's advocate. I do agree that is insane, the price of that. But the parts is like, but the fact that they're not mass producing it, they're always dealing with whatever changes in manufacturing and parts they have to do in order to secure the parts they need to make them. So like, just because it might only cost them 350 something bucks to make them, when they were charging like 550 for like the OLED, or $400 for the OLED, versus now it might cost them like $600 to make it now, because the components have went up in price. I know a lot of the components have come down in price too. So it just really depends on like the delta that they're operating at. And that's kind of the only downside to something where you're not mass producing it, because you
Hmm.
don't have like a warehouse of them backed up to say like, hey, look, this is how much we still have like 6 million of these things sitting there. So the thing is, even when prices go through different fluctuations, you still
Hmm.
have backup to be able to like not raise the price. And the reason I can say it, because you think about Nintendo made so many Switch 2s that they could delay raising the price by over a year, because they had so many of them already made. Now
Yeah,
if
but
they were,
here's the downside of that.
yeah,
Nintendo miscalculated where they needed those Switch 2s. They supplied so much to the North American region
mm-hmm,
that even though it was
Yep.
selling great, selling better than the Switch 1 did, and the Switch 1 sold great, they still had inventory. It never ever sold out. But meanwhile, in Japan, they had to tell people who pre-ordered, we don't have one for you.
yeah, that's
And
the only
so
downside
so
to it. Yeah,
they miscalculated where they needed that inventory. And when you have this, like, well, we're gonna make millions upon millions of units, and then we know exactly where we think we need to put them, and then you make a mistake. Now you got people in a region where you could have sold more, but you don't
yeah,
have anything to give them. Whereas you got like a bunch of them on shelves in retailers in North America, even though it's selling great, but it's just that it's not enough, not enough people to take care of all those units.
yeah.
Valve wouldn't have this issue because they would just know who needed more and make those units and get those units shipped for the places that need them. Which is, this is all economics, right? This is all like, the pluses and minuses of this kind of just in time inventory management. But the thing is that that may be benefiting them right now, but and they may have been able to delay having to raise their prices until now, whereas Xbox and PlayStation and Switch have all done it already,
Mm-hmm.
but they have the biggest increase for the oldest hardware. Actually, not the oldest. My bad, not the oldest, because the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series consoles came out 2 years before. But definitely the weakest hardware out of everything that's being described. Like the Switch 2 is more powerful than the Steam Deck. So
Mm-hmm.
to be more expensive than a PS5 Pro, that's crazy. And I would say, and
Well-
I'll ask this for you and Ramon, because this is just my opinion on it right here. I feel like Valve miscalculated this, because if the choice is to nearly raise the price of this device 50%, or to just not sell it at all, I would say not sell it at all.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Just don't sell it. If you can't deliver it at a price that's reasonable, that's close to your MSRP, then just don't sell it. Until this whole Rampocalypse stuff is over, until these stupid companies realize they are losing more money with this AI initiative, this AI push, than they did without it, and they finally give up the ghost on this thing, and they give up basically holding all the RAM in the world hostage.
Yeah.
Whether that happens next year or in 2028, just don't sell the thing.
Sue them. I wish these companies could sue them for doing that.
Yeah, it's what it is.
Like all of them form Voltron.
The thing is that they got governments helping them out, and like, I mean, they're like bending rules and laws, and at least here, like, I don't know what's going on in Canada, but the United States, they're bending rules and laws to get data centers, forcing data centers on states and communities that the infrastructure can't support the power these data centers need. Meanwhile, also the data centers are ruining the environment of places where people live, and
drinking
the
water,
and elected officials are just ignoring the people in the communities, and just whatever they got paid for it or whatever, but they just basically just trying to shoehorn in data centers so that these AI for big companies and their AI initiatives can happen, because they don't have the actual infrastructure out there to support all this, and which is all the reason why they're holding up RAM without actually putting it into use yet. But you look at like the Uber CEO, and Uber CEO is like, yeah, I'm losing money. When I had my actual employees that I laid off cost me less than it cost me to have Claude. So what are you gaining? Like, what are you getting out of this? Like, so it's actually more expensive to use AI than it was having a human employee doing the job with their medical benefits and salary. Like, it's funny, and I know I'm getting on a tangent here, but just bear with me for a second. It's funny, we got all these rich people with their degrees that, I went to Yale, I went to Harvard, but they're a legacy, so they weren't really smart enough to get into Yale and Harvard. Their parents got them in. So we just gonna forget that for a second. Clearly weren't paying attention in class. Clearly don't understand how business works. Meanwhile, they out here ruining entire industries on initiatives to make money that's theoretical money. They're just basically passing around the same money to one another, and then ruining other industries, other businesses. Shout out to Gamer Nexus, came out with a video where they're basically ruining other companies' businesses by not having anything available for, like, tying up all the RAM so that other companies can't even do the business that they used to do. Cooler Master. Yeah, like the companies that build people's
Domino.
PCs, pre-built PC companies, they're all going out of business because they can't afford to get the RAM, or there's none available. So yeah, look, I get Valve is in that position, and they couldn't find RAM for the Steam machine, and they eventually ran out of RAM. Whatever contract they had on RAM for the Steam Deck, and whenever they signed a new contract, this is the conditions of which they need in order to make a profit. They needed to have the Steam Deck be 46% more expensive than it was before it went out of stock. And this is why I'm just like, just stop selling it. Say it's discontinued indefinitely. Because eventually people are not going to be buying this anymore. They're going to be like, this is way too expensive and it's just not worth it. And so then you've acquired the RAM at that crazy price to put into these units. And even if you're doing just-in-time inventory, you're still spent money on inventory that you can't move. And how do you figure out with the Steam machine how many you're going to need? I mean, more than likely, like the day it launches, it's going to sell out in minutes. But then a month or two later, how's it going to look? If you got the base model Steam machine is $1,200 and the 1 terabyte's $1,500. Who's buying that? I just think that it was a mistake. Ramon, what are your thoughts about that? Would you have priced it like this, or would you have just decided to just not sell it any further until you could get close to MSRP?
It would all depend on when they secured the contracts with AMD to supply the. Is it a GPU or APU?
It's an APU inside of
It's an
the
APU.
Steam
Okay.
Deck. Yeah.
So I think it would all depend on, when they re-up the contracts or, secure the contracts with AMD, because depending on, what that contract is, if they had to pay a penalty for not fulfilling their end of the bargain, it could actually, potentially, and I could be wrong here, but I'm speculating it could be more costly for them to compensate AMD for breaching the contract versus saying, okay, well,
Uh,
we
okay,
contracted
so
for.
you're saying they felt they needed to make more units to fulfill a contract they may have with the AMD for I can't remember that APU is custom or not though.
Yeah,
I'll have to double
I
check
don't know if it's, yeah, I don't know if it's custom or not, but depending
because
on what the
if it's a
terms are of that
custom chip, I
contract,
would understand. But like, yeah, let me find
and
out.
I mean, they're in a better shape. They're like, on the one hand, they're in better shape than the likes of, say, a Sony PlayStation or a Nintendo, where they secure contracts for like tens and tens of millions of APUs for their machines, whereas Valve, they would be securing in the,
Okay,
tens of
I do have
thousands on.
confirmation. The 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 APU in the Steam Deck is a custom sock.
It's
So
custom. Okay.
it's not like off the shelf standard laptop processor kind of stuff. So yeah, so
That
maybe
might
that
be
is
the
the
bad
case.
bind they're in. That might be
Because
the bind that they're in.
I don't know if you remember this or not, but Kepler, the leaker who leaks a lot of
Yeah.
like AMD and Nvidia stuff, Kepler has said some like maybe either last year or maybe just at some point earlier this year. I think it's actually earlier this year that the reason why um oh man, the reason why Xbox did not do their own handheld, PC handheld, and instead partnered with Asus is because when they went to AMD for a custom SoC, a custom APU for that handheld, AMD wanted a specific number of units on contract that
Yeah.
were so much higher than what I guess they expected it to sell as, and so that didn't work out. And a lot of people didn't believe that. Most of them are Xbox, so you know why. But like
Yeah.
Kepler is pretty solid of a like the dude doesn't
Oh,
he gets a lot of accurate
solid.
information, right? Like
Yeah.
he'll be the one that gives you accurate specs of all the GPUs to come out before AMD and Nvidia even release that information. So it's probably likely true, right? But
Yeah.
if that is the case, if that's how AMD is rolling for a custom SoC, if we're going to have R&D work on this completely custom chip that cannot be used in anything else but your device, we want a guarantee of a certain million number of units before we even get to working on it. And if that is the case with Valve as well, then you may be right. They have to fulfill a contract with AMD, and therefore they may still need to continue to keep selling units, even if it's something they don't want to do. Hmm.
Yeah. And the potentially, like let's just say, they have to fulfill an order for, let's just say, 5 million units, right?
Mm-hmm.
The they put on sale and they sell as many as they're going to sell. Let's say they sell initially, like, say, 100,000, right? And they're left on the hook with a warehouse holding the rest of these units. um Depending on the contracts they have with the warehouses and everything, if they're sitting there for X number of months, I've seen speculation that the RAM situation will start to correct next year. Obviously, nobody knows if that's 100% true, but if there is some truth to that, then, you know, depending on what they've worked out, what contracts they have with the warehouses to store those things, they can just fulfill orders as they can. And then next year, if the RAM situation starts to correct, then they can start bringing the price down at some point. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's a tough. It's a
that's an
tough. I don't
interesting.
envy them at all.
That kind of gives me another question I can ask before we wrap this up. We now have Valve, Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox, all raising their prices. And, there are a lot of Xbox out there that are rejoicing that now the most affordable and best value for PC handhelds is the Xbox ROG Ally at six
Yeah,
hundred
for now.
dollars. Exactly, for now. As if they're not going to raise their price too. Like it's going to happen. And actually, it may be completely out of their control considering it's an Asus device. Maybe it's Asus that would do that. But considering the fact that like those things haven't been selling great, they may be able to stick to the price that they're at right now because they haven't had to re-up with new units or a new supply, and they may not have had to renegotiate RAM prices that they were already getting on a device before all this stuff started. So maybe it will stay at its price longer because it wasn't selling great. So that might be a boon for them in the long run. That said, eventually that price is going to go up too. But you said something that got me thinking. When all this is over, and all these idiot tech companies that got the comeuppance, and AI has kind of gone towards the mean where it's found its role in society where it's not the taking everyone's jobs, it's not the main driver of productivity, but just supporting humans and that like eventually I believe that's where things will eventually go. Um Very much like how the mining the crypto mining thing went where GPUs could not be got and therefore it caused an issue early this decade where this was a problem with PC gaming or getting this stuff in general because crypto miners were taking it all and then eventually things leveled out. I believe this would be somewhat the same, just a little different. That said, what happens with the prices of these things? Because it's very, very likely that the Helix will be out before this gets resolved, and potentially the PlayStation 6 as well. What happens to the Steam machine when RAM prices aren't so expensive? Does the price go down? Does it stay where it is?
I think that they would need, if it's possible, they'd want to put a little bit of distance, like a price buffer of distance between the launch price and when they bring the price down. Because the last thing they want to do, I mean, it's gonna be ugly regardless, with if there's a price difference within the year of it launching. But the last thing they want to do is launch it, let's just say January. I can just throw a month out. Launch it in January for like 14, $1,300. And then the prices go down. And then in March, they drop it down to, $700. You know what I mean? Like, the
Mm-hmm.
last thing they want to do is do something like that. They want to put some distance between it so you don't, piss off a whole bunch of people in your fan base. But it's going to be ugly no matter what, because there are going to be people who, were like, oh my God, finally a Valve Steam machine. My machine isn't as powerful as this. I'm still running on a GTX GPU. So this is totally worth it for me. And then sometime that same year, it comes down several $100s from what they paid. Then they're not going to be happy. They might even tell themselves that they're fine, but deep down they're not going to be happy, because who would? But and then the man, I don't envy these people. And then, not to mention, the Steam machine is already, before it even launches, it's the least powerful machine between the Series X and the PS5, especially the PS5 Pro. So it's already starting off behind, but it's a niche machine and it's appealing to, their existing customer base, who might want a game in the living room with their Steam library. So I mean, that's their primary target, but it's still a play for the living room. And anybody who, like, if this was able to be remotely competitively priced, it would have been a good foot in the door, because then people who are on console, like, this might have, appealed to me back before I built my PC, before I started learning everything, before I started asking questions. I was like, you know, if that Steam machine came out, if I hadn't, spoken to you and Logic and a friend at work about, building a PC, I might have looked at that and been like, you know what? I don't really want to go about, dealing with software and building stuff and everything. That looks like a viable option. It's a little pricey, but I mean, I'm looking at the Steam sales and I can play with the settings a little bit and get performance out of it. I might go for that. But now, nah. So I just I don't envy them at all, because
Yeah.
it's one way or another. I think Steam is in. I don't know. They're all in bad shape. I mean, Xbox is going the PC route. So, I mean, honestly, I think Xbox is probably in the least stressful position, because
Well, I want to know about
what
that. I
they're,
mean, they got to
well,
worry about
they're
Helix next year, and that's the
yeah, well,
just
that's what I'm
just
saying though. But
that thing
The
is,
Helix is essentially a PC. It's going to be, they
yeah,
already
but
said it's
like
going to be,
price. This is
well, yeah,
like
it's
that
going to be a
price
high
is,
end, it's going to be a high end PC, but they're already projecting low sales to begin with. So,
yeah, but I mean, comes a point in time like where like there's just no one who's reasonable that's gonna buy something that's just so expensive. Like for example, I remember seeing I have on Best Buy, I have like on my saved list, I have the 5080 RTX 5080 Founders Edition there. I might pick one up later this year. I might upgrade to that. But I only want the Founders Edition and I only wanted at MSRP. At MSRP, it's always sold out. I don't know if Nvidia is restocking it or not. Maybe it restocks and then goes sold out so fast that I just never see it in stock. But the one time I did see it in stock is when, for some stupid reason, the 5080 went from 99, like $999 to $2,300 for a 5080.
God,
It stayed in stock.
my whole PC was in
It
Canadian dollars.
stayed in stock for weeks at that price. Because when nobody gonna spend $2,300 for a 5080, like it just becomes a point in time where the price is just completely not happening. It's just not like people are just like, I'm not spending that much money for it. I'm just not going to do it. And then as soon as I don't know if it was a mistake, and I wish I would have been paying attention when it happened. But as soon as that price went back to $1,000, sold out again. Matter of fact, here's a better example: the 4080. The 4080 at MSRP retailed at $1,200, and Nvidia was so egocentric and so stuck up their own butt. Instead of just dropping the price and taking the L, that you overpriced that 4080. Instead, they came out with a 4080 Super that was no different, not any more powerful whatsoever. They came out with a 4080 Super that was $1,000. That flew off the shelves, and then they discontinued the regular 4080 because they knew they made a mistake. But people initial sales, oh yeah, you'll get the people who just don't care. They'll buy it, right? They got the disposable income. It's their money. They do whatever the heck they want with it. But they are always a super small minority. When it all comes down to it, a month or two later, are they still selling out? Probably not, especially if they're super overpriced. It's just not happening, man. But anything else you guys want to say about this before we get up out of here, man?
Oh, that's it, man. Y'all killed it.
Cool.
Yeah, what about you, Forte?
I already said. I think I said it first. Just
Oh,
Yeah,
about,
you did.
about yeah. Well, anything in particular you want to know? Like what you thinking?
Oh no, I forgot that you went first.
Well,
But yeah,
Slomo went on a diatribe for like 20 minutes, so
It
kind
wasn't that long.
of hard to remember when people say something before him.
It wasn't that
He
long.
starts talking about everything else, but no, I mean it all makes sense. I mean, if I had to just elaborate again, it makes sense. It's just unfortunate because of how much stuff costs at this point. You know, I already knew what prices were gonna look like Slomo said when Val was the way that they were talking, and
oh
then
man, I remember that interview. That was awkward.
oh yeah, that was crazy. And then on top of that, it was, handhelds are always going to be more expensive than
Yeah.
the home equivalent. So I just knew the Steam, like, yeah,
Yeah,
when you
especially
see
if
the
they're a hybrid. If you can do
right,
both
Yeah.
with them, yeah.
right, and you see the sticker shock. I think it is just people just see the sticker shock. It is just like a PlayStation 5 Pro shouldn't be $900. It
No,
shouldn't
it
be.
shouldn't.
So
No.
and that's a home console, $900 home console that is, like, I won't say slightly better than the PS5, but marginally better than the PS5, to the point where you would think like, okay, if I don't have a PS5, the $150 difference when it used to be 750 or $250 difference when it was 750, you could kind of think about, but it's like a crazy amount of, I just don't feel like the value's there at $900. But some things can the same thing can be said about the Steam Deck.
By
A
the way, it's
thousand.
$1,100 up here.
Yeah, see, that's crazy. See, no, I don't
Mm-mm.
care how much, but I don't care how far my American dollars go there. I'm still not. I still see $1,100 even if I'm spending it in Canadian. That's crazy. But no, in general, it just comes back to as long as people are spending the money, that's where we're going to be at. And oh, okay, there was one last thing. This Slow-Mo started talking, so let me finish that before he starts talking again. I love
Oh
you,
my
Slow-Mo.
gosh.
Um, the biggest thing you actually says is it will it be? Do you think it's going to be a success? Or do you think, the biggest thing is it really depends. And I was talking about the whole Valve strategy about how they go about releasing things. If you remember the original Steam decks that they not the Steam machines that they did, they sold those at retail. So the reason people knew they didn't do well is because they had no control over the distribution. They had different partners that put them in different places. Even GameStop sold them, Best Buy sold them. So people saw them sitting in stores and it was like, yo, these things aren't moving. But if Valve is only selling those Steam machines through them, like they might be making them through different manufacturers, but if they're being sold directly through Steam, you'll never know how it's really doing because they have complete control of the ecosystem. And and if, like you said, Slow-Mo, if they sell out, the only thing you're gonna wonder is, well, how many did they make until they start giving you full numbers? So it could be a huge success for them with the Steam machines, but it also comes down to like those active numbers and stuff. Like, some people will say the Steam decks, they did decent. They weren't like world breakers, especially if you compare them to like some of their counterparts like the ROG Ally, and God forbid you try to match it up against a Nintendo Switch and it's just not even close. So, it knows when you compare it to other things, it kind of falls flat on its face. But if you kind of compare it in the
What do you,
market
what,
that it's in,
what do
then
you
it,
mean,
it
like
actually did
power
pretty
wise?
good.
Or are you talking
No,
about
no, no,
sales or
just no,
performance?
no, just no, just like handhelds, just in handhelds in general. Like the Switch is considered a freaking handheld at this point. So when people
Uh-huh.
see that, it's got the backing of Nintendo, it's got the games from Nintendo. So it's meant to sell at a high volume.
Yeah.
I don't think Valve expects the Steam Deck to sell 10 to 15. Now, would they love to see the demand of that? Yeah, absolutely. They would love to see the demand of that. But when they look at their numbers, they probably say,
But they
we're
don't
seeing
even, they're not built to support that much,
not
like maybe 10
that
million
bit
over the course of like a decade, but
over a
not,
decade. Yeah,
yeah, but
exactly.
Yeah,
not
they're
like,
very niche, very niche.
Right. And that's
you
going to be
know,
the same thing with the Steam. That's going to be the same things with the Steam machine. So ultimately, it's to be determined. I just think in general, it's going to come back to what are people willing to, how much money people are willing to spend. And the one thing about PC gamers, Jesus Christ, some people are going to like Slow-Mo is going to buy a Steam machine just because.
no,
Oh
I'm
no,
not.
why? Oh, you're not gonna buy one, Slow-Mo?
No, well,
You
I
bought the
already said,
you bought the
I wasn't going to buy one when they first showed it because they had the 8 gigabyte
Oh yeah, you did
VRAM.
say that. You did say
I was
that.
like,
Yeah, that was
I'm
crazy.
not.
Yeah,
That's
that
just
was it
too
was wild
limited.
Yeah, yeah. It's
that
like what
And
what is
the
this?
stuff they were saying,
2 steps back.
talking about 4K at 60 FPS, and I'm like, this is supposed to be an
For
under
what,
the
Shovel
TV
Knight?
device. Like what are we talking about here? Like you can't. And they were showing off. They were trying to show off the Steam machine running Cyberpunk. I'm seeing the tech tubers struggling to try to like speak positively about the experience because it was playing Cyberpunk, and because AMD didn't put FSR4 on older RDNA generations, it's running Cyberpunk at on FSR 3.1. So
Ooh.
it was not pretty, right? And they had all kinds of, like, they were
Parameter.
talking about screen tearing and all kinds of issues that was going
Oh,
on, and it's just
no.
like that's not that's not a good experience. If anything, if I do anything, I'll go build a mini ITX PC that could be like a Steam Deck that I would use like maybe the specs of the Steam Deck as a starting point, but just get like 12 gigabytes of VRAM or something, and then I'll have that be like a little device I may have somewhere in the house that would be like a Steam machine kind of device. But the actual Steam machine itself, no, I'm good. I could build a better PC than that for cheaper than
Yeah.
whatever the heck they're going to actually deliver this thing at. I mean, I might have to put on the black Air Forces and steal some RAM, but everything else I can do cheaper than what they're doing for the Steam machine.
That's the one little micro regret that I have, even though I know I'm still okay. But I wish I had gotten an additional 32 gigs of RAM because I'm starting to see games coming out where they're like, if you want max settings, everything, they're recommending 32 gigs of RAM, which is literally what I have is 32 gigs. So I almost did it. This was back when it was not crazy. I was going back and forth with myself, and I'm like, nothing's coming out needing anywhere near that. I'm good. 32 gigs is fine. And now 007 maxed out. They're recommending 32 gigs of RAM. I
Yes,
mean,
Yeah,
sir.
I am so glad that when I
I'm
built this
so glad
PC,
got my
I
32 gigs of
I I
RAM.
did I did 64. I'm like I don't need this 64, but I'm gonna go 64 anyway. And you know what I spent for this Corsair Vengeance RGB 64 gig? Less than $200.
and see, for me, Canadian dollars, I got those rip jaws that you recommended, Slow-Mo,
Hmm.
32 gigs, $119, which in Canadian dollars, that's really good.
Yeah.
So, I should have just listened to my right and listened to myself when I was thinking about it and went ahead and got it. But I mean, I'm still fine, but it's nice to have a little cushion. So,
Yeah.
but, hopefully next year, if what we've been hearing is true, hopefully next year stuff starts to stabilize and come back down again. But yeah, man, hold what you
Yeah.
got, folks. Hold what you got. If you were lucky enough to build a good PC, and you're riding good, you got a PS5 or a PS5 Pro or a Series X even. Be happy and be blessed that you got it when you did, because there's a lot of people who, rightfully so, waited for the price to come down because that's normally how it works, and now they stuck. So I mean, if
Hmm.
you were an early adopter like the rest of us, I mean, this is an anomaly situation, but for once, being an early adopter was actually the beneficial move. So, take a moment to stop, count your blessings, and then fire up a nice game and enjoy yourself. Because
Yeah.
whew,
Yeah. I think I tried to future proof my PC as much as possible, and there were some areas that I ended up like after first building it, I upgraded a few things. Like upgraded my storage because I had like two Samsung 970s, like 970 plus, I think they're called, that were like Gen 3 NVMe SSDs, and I upgraded those to these um uh, Western Digital Blacks, the SN 850s. They're all like way faster. But outside of that, that's like the only upgrade that I did to my PC at all. After oh, wait, no, I did upgrade because I think initially I had a 3080 TI, I think, in this when I first built it, and I brought that over from my old PC, and then I upgraded to the 4080 Super. But other than those two, like I haven't made like the main like foundation of the PC. I haven't really touched, and I'm glad I did that because I probably would have been looking to do some upgrades and not being able to do so. So I'm good for now. Um,
you reminded me. You reminded me. The one thing I got to say, I'm happy that I did was because initially I had a vanilla 4070, which I was in love with. I loved it. And Canada Computers had a 4080 Super on sale for $100 off at 1,000 even. And I went back and forth with myself on it, and I almost didn't do it because the 5,000 series cards were coming out, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna grab it, and I got the last one in the province, and probably one of the
in the
last
province,
few
dang.
in the country. I probably got one of the last handfuls in the country because the uh, the Canada Computers around me, in my general area and around the province, I think there was like 5 or 6. And then over the course of the 2 days I was trying to make up my mind, it was down to 3. And then the day before I bought mine, there were 2 left. And then I went ahead, bought mine online for in-store pickup. And when I went in, dude was like, "Man, I watched these things dwindle, our stock dwindle over the past week." He's like, "You got the last one." I was like, "Yeah, I saw online." He's like, "Yeah, you're lucky, man."
Hmm.
So I'm glad I did that. The best decision I made.
Yeah. All right, let's get out of here, guys. Ramon, let everyone know where they can find you, sir.
Well, once again, it has been an absolute pleasure. I look forward to Thursdays or occasionally Fridays with you guys, and I very much appreciate you having me on and bringing me on. I mean, it's the highlight of my week, so thank you. Always a
Oh,
pleasure. Always a pleasure with the chat, and you can find me on Blue Sky, Ramon Terrell. Um, and if you want to find me on PSN, it's Sinesthaza1, Synesthaasa1. You won't be able to see any of my credentials because I've locked my account completely down so that nobody, not even friends, can see anything because PlayStation is not secure. Enjoy
mm.
your games, have fun. And just remember that we enjoy this hobby. Ignore all the fake outrage and hatred and everybody hating on everything and being angry, and just enjoy this hobby, man. We're blessed, so have fun.
Big facts. Big facts. Forte,
Yo.
the
Great
outro,
show as
bro.
all. Yeah, yeah, great show as always, man. It's good to be here. Shout out to Ramon. Love him being here. Love how everybody's asking for Ramon. I said, man, where's Ramon? Skip Forte and slow mo. I need to know where Ramon is, and we really appreciate you being a part of the team, man. It means a lot.
Thank you.
And
Well, they know you guys gonna hold it down, so
well, they need somebody to balance the tomfoolery between me and slow mo. But I get it. I
Just
understand.
you. Just you. There's no
You're
tomfoolery on my part. It's just Forte, the Forte tomfoolery.
okay. I'm not going to say the T word anymore because I don't want to give Ramon flashbacks. But
it's
with
too
that,
late now.
well, I didn't say the word. You didn't say the word. But no, enjoy you guys this weekend. It's gonna be a great one. Enjoy the weather. It's been beautiful outside the last couple of days and stuff. So you know how Michigan is here. Pray for us not to have a bipolar summer where it's 40 degrees tomorrow after being almost 80 today. So let's pray. Let us pray on that. But appreciate you guys. Have a good day. Enjoy your week, and hope you guys had a good holiday. And we'll see you guys next week.
For sure, for sure. Thank you everyone for showing up, and thanks for everyone in the chat, except for Infinite Umbra. I'm not thanking him. He gets no thanks from
Dang.
me.
Oh, Arcade,
Um,
hey, Slomo, sorry to interrupt you. Just take a look at the chat real quick because Arcade had a question about the showcases.
yeah, so we got all the showcases coming. I think first up is PlayStation on June 2nd. I don't know when the Nintendo Direct is going to be, but I'm definitely interested in for once actually potentially streaming that because I know Fire Emblem's going to be there, and of course the Xbox Showcase, which is going to be on us one of these Sundays. They always do it on a Sunday. So yeah, we're going to. I'm going to try to do all three. It really like you may just get one of us if it schedules don't allow it. If like Ramon can't make it or Forte can't make it, but um if I can make it, but Forte can, maybe Forte actually will do the whole setup with OBS, or if he hasn't done that in a while, maybe
I know how to do it
if
still.
it's okay, cool. Like even if you forgot, like StreamYards is still a thing, so like
Hmm.
we can make it happen. I want to because it's like there's a lot of interesting things that looks like that's going to come out. Like people are talking like this PlayStation Showcase is going to be showing a lot of like new games that haven't been revealed yet. Um, again, Nintendo is going to have some fire, and then Xbox's showcase is also going to be showing a lot of like brand new games that haven't been revealed, in addition to stuff that we can't wait to see, like the Gears E-Day direct that's right after the showcase. It's going to be a lot. So we'll try to get it done. So I'll be on the lookout on like social media and stuff. And hope you guys enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy your games. Play some games. And not console warring. And we out, man. Peace.
Peace.
Later on.
Later on.